Today's episode of the Nateland podcast is brought to you by our good friends at Babbel, Mint Mobile, HelloFresh, and AG1. Hello, folks. Aaron Weber here, running the ship today, with Brian Bates by my side, and across the table in Nate's seat is our old friend, Mike Vecchione. Mike, how you doing?
Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely, man.
Thank you for eliminating Nate in order to get me in.
That's the only way we could get you in. We saw your list of demands. You said, I'm not coming back with Nate.
Well, more than that, we also had to get rid of Dusty.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, I think Dusty's gone for good now, right?
Yeah, he's gone for good.
Is he?
Yeah. We had some irreconcilable differences.
Yeah.
Some creative differences.
Okay.
That we won't talk about on this episode.
Right.
He's gone. I wish him good luck in his career. Wish him good luck with his family. But I will never talk to Dusty.
Yeah, I don't even wish that. I don't even wish that on him.
I deleted his number from my phone.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
That's a joke.
No,
some people think it's
Hill Folk Mafia War that's happening.
It's the first time
McCoy's.
that two members of the band are here, I believe.
I know. Do you feel the weight on your shoulders to carry this episode, Brian? This is your moment. This is Tom Brady getting called in after Drew Bledsoe gets hurt.
That's it.
You could become the GOAT after this episode. That's what it takes.
I mean, I thought I already was. But,
you thought that? Well, it's good to be here, Mike. I think this is Mike's first time on the episode since the special came out. Is that correct?
Yeah. No, I was on another one plugging the special.
Oh, right.
I came to plug the special.
Well, this is the first episode post-plug.
Post-plug, yeah.
So if you haven't seen it yet, first of all, get out from under the rock you've been living in.
Yes.
And check out The Attractives on the Nateland YouTube page. 1.4 million views, man.
1.4 million.
That's big time.
We're doing good.
Yeah.
We're doing really good.
That's amazing, man.
So thank you guys for watching.
Mm-hmm.
And please continue to watch and share. That's the good thing about YouTube.
Yeah, Joe Zimmerman's came out this week, 1.5 million. 2 days ago.
I got Zimmerman. Zimmerman just comes in with all his bird watching jokes and just blows us out of the water. It's not fair.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you were always the first. We can always say that.
I was the first.
If Nateland becomes like Disney, you'll be the very first.
Yeah. I'll be in the guy in the documentary.
Yeah.
Recalling everything. I'll blow everybody's spot up, as they say today. I'm trying to use hip terms. I'll blow up everybody's spot, and I'll say all the things that were happening behind the scenes.
You'll be like Jordan though when he went with Nike. Nike was nothing. Yeah. And Jordan was the greatest, but like, I'm going to take a chance on this kid, like you did with Nate.
Yeah. I like how everything's a documentary now. it's like Jordan took a chance on a brand. It's like is that a story?
It's a movie, it's a documentary. Too. It's not even a documentary. That's the movie.
Yeah. Air.
It's just crazy. It's crazy how everything a documentary now. Is a tweet a documentary?
What would you rather everything be a book?
No, not everything has to be something. How about that?
Well,
How about
we just leave stuff alone?
God forbid people want to
you went pretty hard at it.
I'm
sorry. We're gonna. I want to turn this from a nice hill folk, kicking back, straw in the mouth type of podcast to confrontation. No, Bates, you said it. What did you mean?
Mike had a podcast. It recently ended.
It recently ended. I ended.
What happened? Did you end on good terms, or was it?
I ended. It was
forced out.
I was the only.
It was too controversial.
I was the only person. It was podcast suicide.
Uh-huh.
I was the only person on it, so I ended it right in front of everybody. And it wasn't doing well enough. As ashamed I am to admit that. It was fun. I enjoyed doing it, but it wasn't doing well enough with the numbers. So I
give me some hard numbers.
The hard numbers were when I went under 1,000 YouTube views.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, who am I even doing this for besides the people in the booth at this point? But it was a good idea for a show. It was an investigative show, but I don't know. The people didn't want it, so I have to figure something else out.
Well, I listened.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're one of those thousands. Sometimes things are just ahead.
It was more on the back end. It was more more than 1,000. It was just 1,000 on YouTube. That's the ones that I could see.
Right.
But I got the numbers every month, but it just wasn't enough. It's not enough to grow. We're all on the road trying to sell tickets.
Right.
It wasn't enough
to justify you.
Justify selling tickets. Like at some point, and everybody's got their Achilles heel, and mine is just not quitting anything and just keep going at it and just keep coming. And it's like, that's not the way, as I've learned by reading books and documentaries, that's not the way successful people function. It's like, no, you don't do that. You stop and you pivot and you go in another direction.
Right.
You don't just keep.
That's
like, I locked myself out of my apartment when I was in Philly years ago, and I got frustrated. So I just ran into the door. I just kept running into the door till my head was bloody. Instead of like looking for a window, So that's the mentality that we're dealing with, but I'm trying to change.
You're trying to pivot.
I'm trying to pivot into something more successful and not just keep running into the
trying to find the window
door. Trying to find the window.
Yeah. And God opens doors.
One door closes, another door opens.
Another in windows. Yeah. Windows involved.
A window also opens.
Should we hop into these comments, Brian?
Well, I was going to say, so we were just, this comes out next week. So you were just in Huntsville, I believe.
Yes.
Sold every show
Huntsville,
out.
Sold it all out. Loved it. It's, I love the South. And I chose to drive. I flew into Nashville, drove to Huntsville.
That's the way to do it. It's a beautiful drive.
Yeah.
Nashville to Huntsville.
Yeah.
It really is nice.
What's the highlight? The rocket that just got dismantled?
They took down that rocket?
Yeah.
Oh, then you should have flown.
Yeah.
Why did they take that rocket down?
I don't even know, but I just saw on the news where they took it down like last week.
Yeah. Did you know? I know your entire
It's a space. Huntsville's a space.
Yeah, I know you love trashing where we're from and our families and everything.
No, I love it.
We have science down here.
Yes. You guys don't actually believe in it, but you have it.
The people at this table do. This is the science episode.
But one of the sort of the landmarks making that drive down to Huntsville is at a rest stop. As soon as you enter Alabama, there is a replica of a Saturn V rocket.
Wow.
And I don't think it's the actual size of one. I think it's a little bit smaller.
Really?
Somebody told me. But it's huge. And you just see it. You're like, I'm driving through rural Alabama.
Yeah.
Shacks on the side of the road.
I love that.
And then
well, now you're being a little derogatory toward the South.
Well, don't you love the contrast?
You think shack is a derogatory term? I think it's
someone living in a shack.
Yeah, I do.
That beats living in your car.
That's true. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
We're down on the bayou or something.
I didn't call them shanties.
They're brick homes, and I think they're.
Oh yeah, sorry. You drive past some manors on the side of the road, and then you'll see a NASA rocket. Well, that's a shame they took that down.
Yeah, I don't know why, but they took it down. So you missed that. That's why you don't even know about it. Because
why did they take down the NASA rocket?
Yeah, I don't.
No one knows.
Aaron's gonna get the.
It's a mystery.
I haven't made that drive in a while, to be honest with you.
Ooh.
Wow,
it's time to go.
Too good for Huntsville.
It's time for it to go, the tourism director says.
Yeah.
It has greeted people arriving to Alabama from Tennessee on I-65 for more than 4 decades.
Wow.
The state's tourism director, the fact that it's been up there for so many years is pretty amazing, he says, but he's taking it down. He said it's starting to fall apart.
Oh.
They've gotten complaints for years about it.
But that's another example of like not to keep doing the same thing, but to pivot a little bit in order to be successful.
Pivot away from space, away from NASA.
Yeah.
Let's put something else up.
Right.
What do you think would embody the state of Alabama? What should we erect at a rest stop in Alabama to let people know, hey, you're here?
2 cousins who are just friends. I'm trying to think. Yeah. I'm trying to think all things Alabama.
I was going to say like a Nick Saban statue.
Yeah.
Or something.
Nick Saban, Roll Tide.
Yeah.
To take it down, clean it up, and put it back up, it's $1 million.
My God.
That's a lot of money. You got to take that
especially
thing down.
In Alabama, that's a lot of money. Cost of living is very low in Alabama. Tell me I'm wrong.
I don't know the numbers, but I did just call their houses shacks, and I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
Now, you're from Alabama.
You're from there. So
but I'm saying that particular stretch of where you're approaching the rocket, you look out to the right and you think, that's what I think of when I think of Alabama. You know, the caricature of the South. There's a little bit of that leading up to that rocket.
If you live in Giles County, Pulaski area, just know that was Aaron saying that.
Oh.
Aaron, you're from Alabama?
You did. Yeah, I grew up there.
Okay.
Well, I was in.
That's your pride and joy, then.
It is. I'm proud of Alabama. I'm proud of what we've done.
Okay, so you can call them shacks if you want to. That's
That's
your family. That's your people.
They're my people.
Yeah,
for sure. So I can say whatever I want about them.
Yeah,
but you've been gone for 20 years.
No, not quite 20.
Okay.
I've been gone. I've almost lived here as long as I've lived in Alabama.
So there's a cutoff where you no longer can.
There is a certain point where, I think I say I'm from Tennessee now. I'm not from Alabama anymore.
I bet you do say you're from Tennessee.
It depends on who I'm talking to. Tennessee does sound a little better in some parts.
But Brian, it seems like you're trying to get the hill folk angry at him.
I'm trying to defend them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I
was in Jasper, Indiana this weekend.
Okay. Doing the theater there?
Yep.
How'd that go? Sold it out?
Sold it out. Standing ovation.
Awesome.
Did 4 hours. 4 hours. They wanted more, but like, sorry, guys.
You said, sorry, guys, I got to go. They need to close down the building.
And you played for, let's see, who you got here? And you lost a fly ball, apparently, because you didn't put your glasses on it in the sun. Who is that?
This is the San Antonio Missions.
Oh.
Yeah. They're a Padres affiliate.
Okay.
In San Antonio.
A semi-pro?
No, they're professional.
So before
they're minor league.
Oh, minor league professional, like a AAA.
So I'm not Catholic, but before you become a Padre, you have to go do mission work?
No.
Boom.
That's pretty good.
Padre does mean father.
That's pretty good. I was with Kathleen Madigan this weekend.
Wow.
Did some shows. Eau Claire, Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin, Chicago, Illinois.
How'd they go?
They were, I got a standing O. I did 4 hours opening for Kathleen. She was pretty upset about it, but what's the longest set you've ever done, Mike?
I think on my special I did like 80 minutes or something.
And it was edited down too.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I had, I was always of the opinion, like shoot long and then edit it down.
Yeah,
which actually in retrospect is a mistake. It's like,
why is that?
Because if you have the concise bits the way that you want them and you just execute them the right way, it saves you a lot of time editing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Instead of just like, let me just shoot everything and then cut it down in post,
Yeah,
it's
but you didn't have to do the editing. Was that
no, I did have to do the editing.
You did?
Yeah. You have to do it because you can't rely on someone else doing it, because then you would be like, that's not right.
Yeah.
Well, you were given the notes for editing. You weren't dragging the mouse.
I have my friend help me, and we went through the special 4 times. So we had to go through it and then sent the notes. And they did the actual editing, but you have to make the calls on the
right. What stays in.
Yeah, what stays in and what goes out, and where to cut what, and the time codes, basically.
Yeah. What about you, Brian? 30? What's your longest?
Tight 25.
It's a big milestone, man. Doing 25. You do it when you headlining these clubs. You doing an hour? About an hour?
It depends on who's opening for me.
Yeah.
If some of these clubs, they'll do guest spots.
Yeah.
Is
the first 10 minutes you chastising the opener in front of the crowd? You go, you don't do that on my show. You understand me? Get out. You make it nice and awkward. And they go, all right, guys, who's here for some fun?
Yeah, you go, well, now I got to do an hour because this guy couldn't do his time. Couldn't do 25.
I usually do 50.
Yeah.
But sometimes I do it an hour. Yeah. I think the most I ever done was on those broken record shows in Nashville.
Yeah.
And I maybe did like an hour 20.
Oh, man.
And that was when I did not have.
What was that? Like 4 a.m., 5 a.m.?
I don't remember what time it was, but.
We did a 10-day continuous show in Nashville.
Oh, wow.
24 hours a day for 10 days.
We did something like that at the comic strip years ago. We set went for the Guinness. The Guinness people were there. Yeah. And it was a nonstop show.
How long was it? Do you remember?
I can't just accept your story and go, that was amazing. I had to counter it with my own thing. Actually, we did that, but better.
That's okay.
We did a bigger version of that.
Well, New York, you guys don't have much comedy-wise, so you have to throw out a world record. It's the only thing we have.
Yeah.
We did a world record. And so it was I don't know if it was 10. I actually can't remember how long it was, but it was a continuous show.
Well, the Nashville broke the record at the time, and then we broke it ourselves
a few times, I think.
Yeah. It was Chad Ryden and those guys got that set up. So that was fun. Yeah, but you would do these long sets,
right?
Middle of the night, or like 10 a.m.
Were there people in the crowd?
There had to be at least 10 in the crowd
Okay.
for Guinness to recognize it.
Mhm.
Oh wow.
So 10 people
Yeah.
had to be in the
Yeah, we did it
audience.
legal. We didn't. Sounds like you just.
So Brian didn't know how to handle that size audience.
10 people overwhelms Bates.
Brian's like 10 people. Oh, let's stretch out a little bit. About to get loose up here.
I like it if there was 9 people in the crowd at one time, and then the thing is not valid. So the one guy goes outside and just puts a bee on his chin to try to do a new record of all the beard of bees.
What? Oh,
Isn't that a world record?
Oh,
Also,
beard of
remember that?
bees.
I remember I used to have the old Guinness book, and that's
yeah. He's just like, I'm just going to pivot and
yeah.
try
I'm gonna
this world
I'm gonna
record.
pivot and start a new thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like we failed with the comedy thing,
Right.
you know, and now I'm gonna do the beard of bees.
Yeah.
This man had bees on his face for longer than anyone else on record.
That seems like an Alabama thing. Maybe they should replace the maybe they should replace the rocket with the beard of bees guy. I bet you how much do you want to bet he's from Alabama?
He's Toronto,
You wanna
Canada.
put money?
Thank you very much.
Oh,
Oh,
man,
okay.
Canada.
You guys should have bet me.
the opposite.
God, I'm a degenerate gambler. I'll
Bees.
bet on anything.
Are you gambling a lot?
No, I'm putting the money on everything.
DraftKings.
I won't even bet on football. I'll just bet on stuff like this, like crazy facts that are
Mhm.
easily checked.
You bet.
I'll go, Beard of Bees guys is from Alabama. You're like,
It's
isn't
art.
Killer Bees the comic? Isn't he from Alabama?
He's from Alabama.
Ah, I knew something was there. I knew
Killer
it was,
bees.
Yeah,
I was close.
you're right. You're right. What were we talking about? I don't even know.
I don't know.
World records.
Oh, world
we were talking
records
about
for
world records.
Longest set.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Longest one person set. Didn't Dane Cook have it at one point?
Yeah. Dan
Or something?
Cook did. Yeah.
10 hours or something?
Right.
I
Something
think,
like
I think
that.
Aaron Burke set the record for most sets in a night, right?
I think he did a documentary on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like 50.
Why does everything have to be a documentary? Just answer the question, Mike.
Yeah, everything, yeah.
You put it back on me. I
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that. I
yeah.
like that.
He's your friend, right?
God. He is my friend. I like Aaron.
Okay.
But you
Yeah.
guys, I like
But you're
the
like,
way.
go watch the documentary.
No, I
don't-
like the contentious nature of this now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Usually when I'm on here, it's just a very freewheeling, it's but I like the attack mode that you
Right,
guys are
right.
in.
Well, Nate's gone. We could be ourselves a little bit.
Yeah.
So we can, I got to tell you, somebody DM'd me and said, and they counted how many times I stacked my papers during an episode.
Mhm.
Wow.
And they said they're going to do that from now on until I stop doing it.
Mm.
And I think
Good
I've
for
already
them.
done it 4 or
Wow.
5 times this episode.
Your dad doesn't just call you?
He DMs me trash talking. That's so funny.
I'm sorry, you're from Alabama. You don't have a dad.
Ooh.
Just as jokes. Come on. Come on. These are jokes.
Well, let's get into these
Do you have a
comments
dad?
here.
I'm
huh?
sorry.
I do have a dad.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah.
good. 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 So it wasn't, it's
Right.
not like
Not anymore. He died, but
Okay.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kidding.
Beard of bees. Try to set the record.
his dad died of a bee sting.
We've got an unbelievable collection of comments here that we're going to read through, compiled and read by Brian Bates.
Oh, okay.
No,
A
no,
guy
no.
who doesn't stack his
I'll
papers.
read them if you want me to, but I'm saying you're the one that put this list together.
Yeah,
Right.
everyone likes to point that out now. Everyone's turning on me on the comments.
I don't think we're turning on you.
Bates, who turns on you?
Last week, everyone was
I got
turning
your
on
back,
me.
dude.
Well, we recorded yesterday.
Yeah.
You were downstairs. You could have.
Yeah, I
up
would
there.
have come up here.
Yeah.
I would have come up here and
I
added
would
to
love
it
for
if I was
someone else
if I
to-
was invited.
put these.
But I was downstairs and holding. That's what they call downstairs.
I know. Yeah. So I'll put these together and see how they go.
These comments come from Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Apple Podcast reviews. And if you're an old fashioned and you want to send one via email, via
Via.
Nateland at natebargatze.com. First comment comes from Justin Anderson. I've done it 12 times already.
That's okay. Don't let these
Cat-
guys get in your head.
You know?
Yeah.
But doesn't this feel
Aaron.
it does feel good to
Yeah.
do this.
Feels
Tell
good.
him you're going to do it more now that he pointed it out. Now
Yeah.
you're going to keep him busy since obviously he doesn't have a job.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Justin Anderson. I am 44 and about a year into comedy, so I'm on the Brian Bates plan. Oh, I love this already.
Who is this punk going after you, Bates?
I know.
Justin Anderson.
What advice would you give someone who wants to change careers into comedy in middle age? Look at this.
Low expectations.
Lower the bar in your head.
Yeah, I think that helps.
Now, when did you start? How old were you, Brian?
I was 35 when I first started.
Oh, so
Right.
this guy's ancient
Yeah, I
compared
was-
to when you started.
I was 43 when I quit my day job.
Wow.
Did you start the normal
I started
time?
at 28.
So that's
I started
late.
later.
That's late for comedy.
Yes, I
That
did.
is late. Yeah.
Started late because I was already a teacher.
And you're 50?
I'm 50 now.
Yeah. You're like, I'm 50 now. Sorry.
Yeah. I have a breathing problem. That's what happens when you're 50.
Well,
You automatically have asthma.
Or if you're 30 and overweight like me.
I don't know. I guess I would just say enjoy the ride. Don't,
Well, when did everybody start? You started at 35. I
Yeah.
started at 28.
23.
Oh, wow. You started young.
Yeah.
Okay.
the right
relatively
age.
Yeah, he started. Well, but the right age to develop the skill set, true. But it's like you really have nothing to talk about when you're that young.
Nothing.
You know what I mean? Like
Nothing.
you have more to talk about when you're older.
I feel like I still don't. In
Yeah.
some. In
Well,
some
it doesn't seem to
ways.
matter now. Anybody could talk about anything. Just put it on TikTok and you're a genius, I guess. Sorry. Bitterness.
Yeah.
That happens when you're in comedy
There you
for
go.
23 years.
You get ready to think that about a lot of things, Justin. 44.
Justin,
Get ready to complain about TikTok a bunch.
But you
yeah.
know, Justin, I mean, Leanne Morgan was in her mid 50s when she blew up. Now
Right.
she's selling
Mhm.
out theaters. So
Yeah, you never know.
comedy, I mean, music, there does seem like there is a plateau where you're not going to probably make it. I don't know why. It doesn't seem fair, but wouldn't you agree? Whereas in
Yeah.
comedy, you could make it at
You
any
could.
age.
Well,
I mean,
comedians
making
aren't.
it is a relative term.
Well, that's
also.
true.
So, yeah, but it depends on this guy's life situation. It's like that's what I always think about. It's like, do you have a wife and kids? You have people depending on you for an
Mhm.
income. That also matters a great deal because if you have people depending on you for an income, you're not going to want to quit your job.
Right.
You know, your kids are starving, but you're out living your dream. That
Yeah, I
doesn't-
quit my job at 43. I was single. I'm like, if I starve, I'm only hurting myself.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Now-
I mean, we all kind of do this on a sliding scale. It's like you have at least a part-time job
Yeah.
to make your bills, and you do this when you can do it until you can make some money, and then it flips. Then you
Mhm.
do it more and more and more
Mhm.
and more until eventually you make the money that you would make if you had a day job.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just logical. That's if you're 44. I'm assuming that you have people depending on you.
I don't know. He's on the Brian Bates plan. So if he takes that literal, maybe not. Maybe
Yeah.
he's single.
He'll
And,
get married in 6 years.
Yeah, then you could do whatever you want. But I assume that you're an incel and that you hate the government and you're doing anti-government hate
Yeah.
comedy.
Yeah. I think the difference is comedians are not sex symbols
right.
Mm.
in the way that musicians are.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Speak for
I think
yourself.
So you can't.
Yeah.
But I'll give some practical advice, Justin. You're a year into comedy. You already know this. You're going to be the old guy at these open mics and stuff,
Yeah.
which I am now. I'm at open mics and stuff around Nashville, and I look around. I'm like, I'm one of the oldest dudes here
Yeah.
at 31. So that's got to be tough.
Yeah. It was hard when I first started. I'm in my mid to late 30s, and all the guys are like 22 and,
Right.
and stuff like that. But you just got to get through that.
Aaron, what you should do is when you're the oldest guy at the open mic, I wanted to start doing this. I would stop focusing on my own career. You obviously have a good career, but I would stop focusing on my own career and I would look at people who are emerging and have something, not necessarily the most talented, but just have one thing that stands out because that's going to matter more.
Mhm.
And I would wouldn't adopt them, but I'd do a conservatorship with them and control all of their finances.
Blindside them.
Aaron should do that.
That's it.
There
Blindside
you
all
go.
of them, and then have like all of these kids under conservatorship, and then if anybody pops, you
Yeah.
benefit.
Yeah.
Tanner Newcomb, just take him under your
Right.
wing.
Become an incubator for
Yeah.
these young
Yes.
comedians.
Yeah.
And then I
Incubator.
get 10 to 20% of,
Yeah.
of their all potential earnings.
Yeah.
That's one way to do it.
Justin, that's one way to do it at 44.
Yeah.
That's the way I would do it.
We wish you-
Conservatorships around the board.
Right. We wish you luck, man. Hope to see you out there in the comedy world. It's a pretty small world. We probably will cross paths.
Well,
If
probably
you
open
stick
for you.
around.
Yeah.
If you stick around, I'm going to meet you at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Next comment is from Val Lefavor.
Yeah, I think so.
Lefavor?
I would say yes.
That sounds like a fake name.
It does. It
Yeah.
sounds like from an Adam Sandler movie. That's what Val LaFlavor.
The V's.
Is that a Rob Schneider character? Who is this? Wondering if you ever get homesick when you're on the comedy road. Seems like you all often travel with a friend, and even sometimes Nate will mention that his family is along with him. Does traveling with friends and or family help you to avoid feeling homesick?
You generally
What a well
take
thought
a
out
friend
question.
with you on the road.
I try to bring a friend when I can, and
Yeah.
that just makes everything better.
Yeah, I don't. I like to be alone.
Do you really?
Really?
You like the alone? Well,
Really
now
do.
you've got a young baby. You've got a wife.
Yeah.
But do you bring
Do
the
you-
baby to open? Just he does 15. It's like it's just mostly crying and going to the bathroom. But you're like, no, that's his. He has the freedom to express
That's
himself.
his
That's his
thing.
act.
It's a
Performance.
she. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
she.
You think
That's her-
women can't do comedy,
No,
right?
I think gender is wrong to mention. They,
Yeah.
the baby, they will. The baby is actually an artist. The baby actually sells more tickets than all of us combined. But the baby, like you'd be like, the baby's opening. They're like, the baby is here,
Yeah.
and then it's just your baby
Yeah.
crying.
And then Brian has to do an hour and 20 minutes for a baby crowd.
And then afterwards, like I had to go clean up your mess, literally and figuratively. I think that's pretty awesome.
Do you like taking friends on the road?
Yes, I'll take people because I don't have a car in New York.
Mhm.
So I need to get places, but instead of like renting a car, which I could do, I always ask whoever booked me, if it's within driving distance, like, let me bring an opener or bring the show so that I could hook people up with work. You know,
Sounds like, but you're hooking yourself up with a car.
hooking myself up with a car. Yeah,
Yeah.
Bates, thanks for cutting to it. But also, I need the car, but then I want to get people,
Uh-huh.
who have a car, who want work. I want them also to work.
Yeah.
So, and also,
So, Justin, if you live in New York City, get a car. It's important.
well, no, it's parking is insane in Manhattan. But oh, you mean to open for me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, if you're like Justin Anderson and you're 44 and you're a year into comedy. Val, she says the comedy road. First of all, Val, we don't call it the comedy road. It's just the road. Do we ever get homesick? What are we, children, Val? No, we don't get homesick. We make money and we party.
I love this. Let's trash every comment.
You start off by saying that's a well-written comment.
Yeah.
And now
Hey, Val, can I get a second with you? What the heck is this? The comedy road? Val, do yourself a favor. Stop it with the nonsense, Val. Tough love on all the comments.
It's the best bringing people on the road.
Is it a wonder that my podcast shut down?
Is this what your podcast was?
My
A lot
podcast
of,
closed. It was just me screaming at the fans.
until you've
And it's like,
eliminated every
no one
fan.
likes that, actually. Everybody actually hates that.
you named them person by person, just calling them stupid. Yeah, I like to sit in a dark room and stare at the wall.
Do you actually?
No, I mean, not that literal, but I do like some alone time.
You like
Yeah.
real alone time? You like to go on a walk alone,
Mm-hmm.
just around, around the hotel parking lot.
Or, I mean, I told you the one
You
time
go to the mall.
I usually just you and I had co-headline Wise Guys together.
Mhm.
Less than a year later, I was back there. I was at the same hotel. Everything was the same,
Yeah.
except you weren't there, and I missed you
Yeah.
because it felt like,
Yeah.
where's my buddy Aaron?
Yeah.
But generally, if I go to some new place, I meet new comics. I just like that, get to know
Yeah.
new people
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
new
So
experience.
what's it? Okay, the Friday or Thursday is the travel day, so we won't count that.
Yeah.
But then the next day, let's say you don't have any radio in the morning to plug the shows,
Right.
which is also something we do on the comedy road, Val. But it's just like a Saturday. You have two shows. What do you get up and do? What?
I sleep late.
Okay,
What is late for you?
because of the baby.
With a young baby, what's sleeping late for you? So late for me is noon.
Aaron,
or
you
late.
said a young baby. With a young, tiny baby, a tiny little guy.
I would be the one person having an old baby, like just somehow.
That's offensive. He has a
she's a-
Benjamin Buttons. The baby is aging in reverse.
You're like Gary Coleman. Like, what do you mean? Like an old kid?
I don't know. Somehow I would have
Yeah.
an old baby.
Yeah.
No, not noon,
Right.
but I might sleep till 10-ish and then lay in the bed for an hour looking at my phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something like
and
that.
that feels like
Right.
indulgent for you
Yeah.
to lay
Just
to
nice
sleep
and
until
quiet.
10.
Nobody
Mhm.
doing anything,
Yeah.
whatever.
That's a strip club to us.
Sleeping until 10.
Just like looking on your phone. Aaron's like, that's my strip club right there. Go ahead. So you
And
look on your
then-
phone, then what?
Now that it's football season, I would turn on the TV when I woke up. Watch
You don't even get out of bed.
No.
Just
Oh,
Sit there
wow.
and watch football. And,
Wow.
well, I mean, I might go down, get some breakfast,
Yeah.
eat or whatever, come back up, watch
Right.
the football. I mean, it depends on what city I'm in. And
Oh, that
Right.
is a
Where
good
we're at.
feeling. You catch the end of the continental breakfast, bring
Yeah.
a plate up to the hotel room.
Man.
Yeah, that's a good time.
Yeah.
Just in
Yeah.
time for college game day to start,
Yeah.
and then you.
Or maybe not start, but at least see
But if you're on the
picks.
West
Yeah.
Coast, football
Well,
games
that's
start
true.
at like 9
Right,
a.m.
right.
You're like, this is an all-day
Yeah.
affair.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But you raise a great point, man. Catching the end of a continental breakfast is like a win.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a big win on the comedy road.
Because they're about to throw all this food away.
Right. And the
Because
food was never
been out
it
for
was
6
never really
hours.
it was never good in the first place.
Right,
But you're
right.
making a great point.
It's been out for 6 hours.
Yeah.
They're about to throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
I'll eat it.
You save it.
Get
Yeah.
that blueberry
You bring it
muffin.
back to the room. You
Yeah.
watch 3-4 hours of football. Then
Yeah.
what?
Take a nap.
You take a nap. Okay.
I mean, I don't know.
No. This is great. I'm not judging it.
This is a Saturday.
Yeah, this is Saturday.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't even cover Friday.
Yeah. Well, one of them is
Friday,
a travel day, so
yeah.
it's muddled. You know, it's
Okay.
not a full day. But this is like just full day hotel and then show. So you take a nap, you wake up, and then what? It's got to be getting pretty close to showtime.
Yeah,
at this point.
yeah. Watch a little bit more
I mean,
football.
Squeeze another nap in,
Maybe. It depends. Again, it depends on what city I'm in.
Yeah.
I mean, this Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. No, it'll have been last week, I guess.
Mhm.
I'll be in Pensacola Beach, Florida,
Mhm.
with Leanne Morgan. So I'll go down the beach,
Yeah.
Oh, that'll
hang
be
out
nice.
down there. When I was in
There you
San
go.
Diego, I went to the San Diego Zoo. It was my first time in San Diego.
Nice.
I just went there too.
Yeah.
I just was there,
It's a
and I
good
went
zoo,
to the
right?
zoo.
Yeah.
Well, it's $70 cover, so I would hope it's a good
Is it
zoo.
really?
That's the cover charge for the zoo, and
You really are treating it like a strip club. I mean, that's the cover charge. Do
For
you
that-
mean the ticket?
yeah,
like the
the
admission.
ticket to get in. I call
The
it a
cover.
cover because it's so expensive.
Val. It's called cover
Yeah.
charge in the comedy world. If you go to the San Diego Zoo.
I said, fortunately, somebody from the show worked for the zoo and gave us tickets, so we didn't pay the 70.
That's nice.
But the 70, I was saying at the shows, I was saying,
What
if
club?
I pay $70, American Comedy Company,
Oh,
great club. If I pay $70 to go to a zoo, I want an armadillo parking my car. And I want to have lunch with a cheetah, and I want to have a full lunch, not just him stopping by the table to say hi.
And I pointed out on the website where
Yeah.
when they're advertising $70, there's a lot of animals that are no longer there that they don't mention on that website.
Oh, wow.
The panda's gone.
Yeah.
The pandas are gone.
Yeah, I think they went back to China. But on the website, when you're buying your tickets online, they don't mention that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
There's a
Well,
lot of cages that
they're
are
a
under
big draw.
construction.
Right.
Pandas are a big draw, I bet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
But
So-
it was still fun. It was great.
It was great. And like some of the animals are not like you go, did you take the bus tour?
No, I did just the walking.
Okay, so we took the bus tour and some of the animals are like, inside resting, sleeping.
They're all
yeah.
doing that.
But for $70, wake them up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wake them up and get them dancing, get them moving, get
Yeah.
some blood flow. I'm not saying they have to be,
Dancing.
it doesn't have to be a complete circus, but it's got to be like, I want to see them doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
they're all-
70.
They're all sleeping.
And then also I went to Little Italy in San Diego. Have you ever? Did you go to that?
No.
How did it
Because you
compare
hate
to Little
Italian.
Italy in New York?
Because what?
Because you don't like Italian space?
I mean, I didn't
It's
know
a-
about it, but yes, that was also
He's
two reasons. I
like,
didn't know
thank God
about
I
it.
didn't know about it. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have come to San Diego
Yeah,
to begin
exactly.
with.
This is the great one where it's like, how come you didn't go see the Italians in in San Diego? And you go, all right, yeah, I did go to the zoo.
Yeah.
That would have been a slam on the.
That would have been good.
I'll
would've
use
been a
that
good
later
one.
in the podcast.
Jimmy Miller. Being in a town full of songwriters, he's talking about Nashville, not New York City.
Mm-hmm.
Being in a town
Hill folks.
full of songwriters that often get together and collaborate and write songs together. I was curious if any of you do the same when it comes to comedy. My guess would be that you don't write with other comics, but I was curious if you ever brainstorm with other creative people or friends when working on new material. Whatever you guys are doing obviously is working well. That's nice. Yeah. Just curious about your process.
Mm.
Brian?
This is great. This is great, actually. I'm sorry. You said Brian, and my name's not Brian, but
Mhm.
I'm going to.
Well, Val's comment was
feel
great.
free to
You
take it.
started and then you dissected it
Yeah.
sentence by sentence.
Why don't you take a few minutes, think about how you're going to destroy
Val,
this comment.
Val,
Mike.
first of all, we love you, Val. And I'm saying that because I'm on the comedy road right now. And so thank you, Val. Val, we love you. And Jimmy brings up a really good point because we do. I don't know what you guys do, but sometimes we'll call people and you'll just bounce bits off of each other. and it'll be kind of an unstructured thing. It's like, I got this thing I'm working on, and then you'll talk it out, and it really, really does help to talk it out and then get somebody else's input who hasn't been mulling over it and thinking about it. Then you do the same for them, and you go back and forth, and it just it's really a fun process because you get to laugh and you get to connect to a friend, but you also are working on bits kind of informally most of the
I don't
time.
really do that. So
No,
I don't like to get together and write, like, literally, but yeah, bouncing stuff off that you're already kind of formulated.
Yeah.
We did that show recently with Alex Fluto and Johnny W.
Yeah.
And the next day, or maybe a couple days later, we went to lunch, and we'd all tried new bits that night. So we all heard it.
Yeah.
And then we worked on some tags or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm not the type that would sit down and is like, guys, I want to write something about a piano. You got any thoughts on that?
but what if you already have something about a piano?
Yeah, then maybe
And then
like
it's like, oh,
this part's not working.
Yeah, or
something
it's like, what is there another angle here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess so. Who do you bounce off? You got certain guys?
I don't know. It just depends, but I don't want to mention their names.
Yeah,
because it seems like I'm name dropping. Then you know,
and
but I used to live. I will tell you, I used to live with Dan Soder. So we used to wake up and like go, "Is this something? Is this something?"
And Corey
Rapon. Well, Corey wasn't there. I took Corey's place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was the replacement roommate.
So it worked out for all of you.
I think Corey got married.
Yeah,
and he lives in Jersey with kids.
Yeah,
and me and Soder lived as two adult men in the same apartment for a decade. He's my house husband. So I would bounce things off of him, and he would give me his feedback, and then the same. And it always really helped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll name drop him as a roommate.
I will name drop him.
What about you, Aaron?
Well, I lived with David Tell for 10 years. He and I would bounce ideas on. I love when people have tags for me.
Yeah.
I always say, somebody said to me early, I asked a comic, I said, can I give you a tag? And they said, sure, as long as you don't care if I don't use it. And I kind of live by that. Like, yeah, I'll hear anything.
Yeah.
But I might not necessarily say it.
Do you guys ever get a tag or feedback from a fan that actually is like, that's a good?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like a different angle. Yeah.
But
yeah, you guys seem like you don't want that kind of feedback. I don't take it as, I take it as like the bit is still, it's something if you're doing a bit, it's working, and somebody comes up, and even that I kind of don't mind, where it's like, hey, it's like, yeah, maybe not.
I've had people after shows go, I wanted more out of that. Like,
like, so did I.
Right. I go, yeah, I'd love to have
you and me both,
too.
buddy.
Yeah.
No, I love it all. I'll take any advice.
Yeah. But with comics,
you
it's
want to
like,
watch
it's
my
like funny.
act and
yeah. I mean, not so
notes.
much from the fan. I mean, from the people watching.
You got a great tag for an etiquette joke. You want to tell them that?
People quote that to me. I had a joke about cats and what do you do when a cat dies? What you do with the body?
Yeah.
Kind of walked through that. It was not a good joke.
Right.
He agreed with you really quick.
I know. It wasn't good. Right.
I've seen your comments.
I didn't know where you were going with
but
it.
I say in the joke.
I thought that was part of it.
I said in the joke, what's the etiquette? Like, I said the word etiquette.
Yeah.
Not an important word to the bit.
Right.
A woman comes up to me after the show and she said, I got a little idea for your cat joke. And I said, all right, I love to hear it. She goes, you talk about cat etiquette. Etiquette?
Okay.
I go, all right, yeah. I go, great.
I like it. It's a good word.
You like it? Yeah.
Etiquette.
Yeah. I said that to Dusty, who I was opening for at the time, and he said, if you did that, the show would have changed. If you'd have said etiquette, you would have been like, wait, what is happening right now? What kind of show is this? Etiquette.
Yeah.
Aaron, I don't want to be here all night, so tell me about Babbel.
Oh, man, let me tell you a little something about Babbel. It is...
Have you been to South America yet?
I haven't been. I'm going in a couple weeks.
Okay.
I'm pretty excited. This fall, you can start speaking a new language with Babbel. Let me play you a little something. Hear that sound? That's the sound it makes when you get a correct answer on one of Babbel's language learning quizzes. You hear that? Doesn't that feel good?
It does.
That's a good feeling. And you can get a lot more of that if you use Babbel. Picture this. You're sitting at your Thanksgiving dinner. You surprise your family by starting an argument. I mean, discussion. that was brutal. They wrote.
Well, we should get
They
together
wrote
and
out
write
the-
with them.
They wrote. Yeah, we need to collaborate on this ad read. Start today and get ready. Look, but this is not what Babbel does. Babbel doesn't write jokes.
Yeah,
They
speak from
teach
the heart.
people new languages.
That's right.
Right, and they
Mhm.
do a heck of a job at it. And you can start today with Babbel because it works. Instead of paying hundreds of dollars for a private tutor or fooling yourself with language learning apps that are little more than games, Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons are designed by over 150 language experts to help you start speaking a new language in as little as 3 weeks.
Wow.
Babbel is designed by real people for real conversations. All of Babbel's tips and tools for learning a new language, they're approachable, they're accessible, they're rooted in real-life situations and delivered with conversation-based teaching. Studies from Yale and Michigan State University continue to prove Babbel is better. One study found that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a full semester at college. And 10 million people have bought subscriptions. 10 million people can't be wrong. So here's a limited one-time deal for our listeners to get you started right now. Get 55% off your Babbel subscription. How much? 55%.
So
But only for our listeners at babbel.com/Nate. Get 55% off at babbel.com/Nate. That's spelled BABBEL.com/Nate. Rules and restrictions may apply.
we laugh at Michigan State because he's good friends with Mel Tucker, and so no. He always makes fun of Yale and Michigan
It's
State.
just
That
funny
is-
that they
no.
have studies from Yale and Michigan State,
State,
and you're
yeah.
like, what? Dropped off quick.
Yeah. And from Cuyahoga Falls Community College. It's like just all levels.
Yeah.
Big Ten, Ivy League, community college. They're all saying the same thing.
You guys play them this year?
No,
Okay.
no.
Oh, I
we
wish you had.
used to play them a lot.
Yeah, people say
No.
that's why you don't like them. It's because they would whoop up on you guys.
Well, there was this game called the Little Rascals game where they won by a fake field goal at the end of the game. And yeah, I do harbor a little resentment for Michigan State.
And the Little
University.
Rascals, because that's something that Buckwheat did.
I think so. I don't know why they called it that, but doesn't that really rub it in when you lose and they call it the Little Rascals play?
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right. I'm sorry I brought it up.
sorry to all the Spartans out there. Let's get back to these comments.
yeah.
Huh? What's the next comment? We got one from Kian Biard,
Hmm.
Switzerland. You guys were talking about how a 40% chance of rain doesn't mean there is a 40% chance you will be rained on, but there will be rain in 40% of your area. That's correct. If 40% of your area
No.
is covered in rain, there is still a 40% chance you will be rained on. Love the podcast, though. Keep it up. I don't think that's true because I don't think
that's right
you cover
No.
all the air, all the land in
That
your
sounds
area.
wrong.
Yeah.
That sounds wrong. A 40% chance of rain means exactly that. It's a 40% chance that there will be rain on you. Isn't that exactly what it means?
No. So we talked about this. So when a meteorologist says there's a 40%,
Well,
I
you're
like
saying
how
that's-
you said that kind of frustrated. You're a stupid guest. We
Yeah.
talked about this.
That's what it should mean.
I love your
See, well,
frustration. Wendy.
that's what everybody thinks it means because that's the way it sounds, right? But what they're actually saying is the area about which they're talking.
Yes.
That means that percentage will see rain.
But if you're in that area, that doesn't that still
So when they
mean-
say 40% chance of rain, that means 40% of this area will 100% see rain.
Oh, wow.
That's what it means. So it's a
I
little
thought just all
confusing.
weather people were liars, but this is now I feel stupid.
Yeah, no, they're manipulators
Yeah,
too, and they talk down to you and they're condescending.
Yeah, I actually like that part of it, but I just thought when they say it's going to rain and it doesn't rain, I get angry.
It's
with
a little
them.
annoying. Yeah.
And I especially hate it when they do the 10-day forecast
Yeah.
and then they slowly change it as the time goes on.
Mhm.
It's like should be illegal.
and think you don't notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't think I know I was going to rain completely, and then there's a 50% chance, and as the days go on and it gets closer,
Mhm.
they get more accurate.
If
You watch
you're
the
gonna
news
be-
every night?
No,
Because I was starting to get excited. Like, all right.
Do you watch the news every night?
Well, I used to be in the news business, so I
That's
like
right.
to keep up with it.
Yeah,
and then I
that's
feel
right.
like guys of a certain age, maybe we're more inclined to.
I don't have cable anymore, so I can't watch.
But
I
the
can't
news
watch
is
it.
not on. I mean, you don't have any. You can't get the NBC, ABC, CBS.
I have the World Wide Web, but I'm not keeping up. I look on my app Now
Trying to bond with him so hard he's shooting everything down. You read the newspaper? Nah, I haven't had a newspaper in
But
20
he said
years.
World Wide Web. I like
the
that.
World Wide Web.
That's what I call it.
Oh,
But
right.
I have my weather app
Yeah.
that I look. But
Oh, well, then you're mad at Apple then.
yeah.
Instead of a weatherman.
Well, now they're invisible weather people. Yeah. The
Yeah.
app is a nameless, faceless
Yeah.
person who's trying to trick me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Catherine Zokler. That's a great name.
That is.
Zokler. Sounds like the Sackler family.
Zokler.
The Zoklers, like they do off-brand prescription drugs. Like, the Sacklers.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
The Sackler is aren't they they're the
Purdue
prescription drug
Pharma.
people, yeah.
Yeah.
And the Zoklers
Oxycontin.
This is great. It was a great joke.
Thanks, man. Zokler, they do apple cider vinegar and stuff. I recently told my husband that for the past few months, I was having a really hard time getting moving in the morning. You and me. He mentioned hearing this guy on Jim Rome. Wow, I haven't heard Jim Rome's name in a while, huh?
Mm-hmm.
He was great. Talk about cold showers. I said, oh yeah, Mike Vecchione is big into cold showers. To which he replied, who is Mike Vecchione?
Exactly.
It sounds like a Jim Rome listener.
Oh,
Right?
it sounds like she's cheating on her husband with me. Who is this guy?
Anyway, I started taking cold showers the next morning, and it's not exaggerating much to say it is changing my life. Thank you for passing along the tip.
You still do that?
Catherine. Yes, Catherine. It's the secret. I'm trying to spread it. And people, because there's so much information out there, and I'm not a doctor. I guess in Alabama I would be, but not a doctor in normal terms. But it's changed my life also, Catherine. So I still take them. I don't take hot showers anymore.
You took one this morning, cold shower?
Yeah. Worked out,
Wow.
cold shower.
Wow.
And it's just a natural thing now to take a cold shower because it regulates your mood. There's mood shifting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it does to you, but I do a breathing practice also. So it's really cold. And some my girl lives in Indiana. Her parents have a farm in Indiana and it's well water.
Yeah, she came to my show this weekend.
Did she?
In Jasper, yeah.
Yes. Well, her family probably did.
Where do they live?
They live in Dalesville.
Yeah, that's right next door.
We're fist pounding for those of you who can't afford a computer. Again, it's a mystery why my podcast didn't work. Talking down to the fans turns out not to work.
Well, I interrupted
Catherine,
you. I'm sorry,
yeah.
go ahead.
Cold shower, it stimulates your nervous system and it fights against it counteracts depression. It really does. And people think I'm crazy to say that, but it really I can feel it on the road. I can feel it because I go to some places like the Comedy Road. Thank you, Aaron. To the Comedy Road, and I was in Phoenix, and they don't have cold water in Phoenix, and I could feel my mood drop. I was working out, sleeping, still doing the same routine, but my mood, I could feel it drop. Wow. And with cold showers, that doesn't happen. Anyway, my point with my girl's family's farm, those showers, some of those showers like that, and in Vancouver during the winter, and we went to Italy. We were in Rome during the summer, and it was so hot. But then, I guess it's the underwater, the system that they have. The water is freezing cold, and I never slept better. Mm-hmm. It's really unbelievable. I can tell the difference between when I stopped taking freezing showers and when I was in Phoenix, they don't have cold water there.
What do you mean by would it feel cold to us in Phoenix?
Yeah, it would be cold because you're used to
hot.
You're used to hot. So
water,
if it didn't work, it would be like, oh, I'm taking a warm shower. This is annoying. It wouldn't be freezing, but it's annoying if it's lukewarm. But to me, I'm used to getting a shock when I go in the shower.
Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't have the same effect. But
do you wash your dishes with cold water?
That's really an interesting.
I wonder
question.
if you could just eliminate the hot water heater altogether, save money.
I wash it with hot water, but I wash my hands, I'll wash my face, all cold water.
All cold water.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Your clothes, you go to laundromat?
No, I have my laundry done.
Do you do cold washes? Oh, yeah. You haven't.
I send it to somebody who does it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
Must be nice. Dude.
Yeah, really.
No,
yeah.
I mean, it's New York. It's there's nowhere to do there's a place up the street, but it's too much. The guy right beneath me does a great job on my laundry, so I just drop it off. Believe me, if I could have a washer and dryer, I would.
Is it rare to have one in your apartment in New York?
I just thought everyone went to the laundromat.
They do sometimes. When I was in Queens, you would go to the laundromat, but
You
I have
know New York mostly from Seinfeld.
I was actually thinking, what was the Adam Sandler movie, Big Daddy?
Yeah.
And he meets the girl at, someone's on Bleecker Street, and she's like, yeah. They meet there on a date to wash their clothes. That's what I was envisioning.
That's New York.
Yeah, no, it does happen like that, but the culture is different. People there's no parking is crazy, so it depends. If you live in Queens, you can.
Yeah, we've been to the zoo. Call back.
you can park in Queens. But it's very rare to have a washer and dryer in your apartment.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think the only time I've taken a cold shower, at least it's on purpose. Well, it wasn't on purpose. Was the biggest show of my life, Bridgestone Arena, in front of almost 20,000 people.
Right.
I don't know about your dressing room, but at my dressing room, there was no warm water.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, they gave me a good one. So I had a hot tub in mine.
I don't think I could do. I didn't think I could do it before then, but
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta have a shower
Right,
before
you
the
have
show
to.
because we'd been on the bus. It's been 2 days since I had a shower, and I had to do a cold shower. I had no choice, but it about killed me.
But don't you in that first of all, like I've been in situations like with Nate on the road where you go to these theaters and there's no warm.
Yeah.
And everybody's like up in arms. They're like, oh my God, there's no warm water. And I'm just like, don't even think twice about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't even affect me in any way. So, but don't you feel like you have a superpower? Like when the cold water hits you and you're able to
feel
weather
that way, huh?
Yeah.
I feel that way. And mentally I feel like, it's like that thing where it's like, oh, I'm immediately just overcoming something that's difficult.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's like the whole theory of make your bed in the morning. It's like, I have something done. So regardless of whatever happens the rest of the day, my bed is made. So now I can take the momentum. I'm a big momentum guy. So it's like, I'm going to build on the momentum of making my bed and go into something else. Same with a cold shower. It's like, I've already overcome this.
Do the hardest thing in your day.
Do the hardest thing.
Eat the frog. Isn't that what it's called?
Oh, I didn't know that.
You ever heard that expression? Eat the frog?
No.
If you got to eat a frog,
right,
just eat it first thing in the morning.
It's the same principle.
That sounds like an Alabama diet. Just eat
That's our accent.
That sounds like swamp nutrition. Just eat the frog. Eat the frog, Jesse.
Jeff Larson. Great name. I've been listening to old episodes and just finished the Wall Street episode. God bless you. That was a tough one. Just curious how old Diamond Hands is doing on his investments. Well, I appreciate it. I will say I cashed out a little bit of AMC stock. Made a little bit of a profit.
Wow. Oh, you did?
Felt good. I held GameStop.
Still have it?
Still have it.
Well, that's the one that you were really...
That was a big one. I thought that was taking me to the moon, and it still might, And I will say I mostly haven't sold it because I forgot about it.
Well, that's good. That's what they tell you to do, right?
I forgot about it. I think I deleted the app from my phone, but,
Don't they tell you invest it and just forget about it?
No, I wasn't consulting anybody about this.
I know, but
they
forget
might
about it
they might
because
be
you
saying
lost
that.
it?
Yeah.
That's what they want you to think.
Just
Isn't
forget
there already a
about it.
movie about all that?
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me.
Wolf of Wall Street.
That'd be a great...
No, I think there's already a movie about that whole GameStop.
If they made like a Big Short style movie about that, it would be great.
I
Adam
think they
McKay. Is it Adam McKay?
I don't know. You're nodding over there,
I
Lauren.
can't believe I've been wearing that the whole time. Forgot about the sunglasses.
The sunglasses? The guy with who's in your DMs about your shuffling, he's going to lose it.
Yeah.
And the sunglasses? And the sunglasses? How much am I to take?
The Dump Dusty guy is going to
it's gonna
pivot to me.
Dump Aaron.
Dump Aaron. I don't like that. Nancy Sauer. If you could only sleep in one position, for example, side of your body, for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh my God. On my side. Right side, righty, just on a side, spread out. It's like, I feel like I'm stretching when I'm sleeping kind of in that position because you torque your body a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm always holding a pillow, which makes my girl furious. But holding a pillow, twerked to the side, twerking.
You say torqued or twerked?
I think it's,
think
the
it's
kids are
twerk. You
calling
said
it
twerk.
twerking. And if I'll just like, to make it all Gen Z, I'm twerking, I wake up, vape, and then go back to sleep.
Guys, he's young.
I'm young. Things are happening.
What?
But now I'm on my side, twerked.
What about you, Brian?
I think mine would also be my side.
Yeah.
My back hurts now, especially picking up my kid all day.
Right.
So my back gets stiff. I
Yeah.
have to
But
Sleep
then
on
you
the
wake
side.
up with some shoulder pain, don't you?
Yeah.
If you're sleeping on the side,
Well,
put a lot of stress on the shoulder. I sleep on my back, head straight up.
the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got to because of CPAP.
The CPAP machine.
Oh, do you have
It
CPAP?
does limit your range of movement.
Yeah. I mean, I wear
Yeah.
CPAP too, but I can still lay on my side.
You guys are both CPAP guys?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're CPAP.
Join the club, dude.
Wow.
You're
I think
good.
I'm breathing okay.
It's those cold showers, man.
We don't have depression, though, so we
Yeah.
don't have to take cold showers. We live in a nice place
Yeah.
where we can wash our clothes
I have
in
a
our
dryer
house.
and
Bates,
washing
you really
machine.
took it to me.
Yeah.
It's like under the radar the way that you're slamming me, but it's like actually we don't have depression.
Yeah.
So good
We
luck
don't
living
have
your
to do
life.
things like take cold showers.
Yeah,
to,
we call it being a
enjoy
man.
life. Yeah.
We call it being a man.
Right. We have God in our lives.
Yeah.
Well, at least I don't have asthma. Night asthma, like both
Night
of you guys.
Night asthma. That is what it is.
Yeah,
good
you-
way
We
to
forget to
describe it.
breathe as soon as we go to sleep.
J.R. Baker from Dallas.
That was J.R. Ewing.
Wasn't there a Baker?
Dallas?
Bakersfield. Can someone get good at creating material for stand-up? Oh, I misread that the wrong tone. I was saying, for the love of God, can somebody get good at creating? I was like, geez, JR. Can someone get good at creating material for stand-up? Or is it one of those things you either got it or you don't? Great question.
It's a little bit of both, nature versus nurture. But
Yeah.
you could start off with a little bit of talent. But I think if you want it bad enough, you can you have to have some natural talent. You can't be completely off, but you have to have some natural. It's like anything else. You have to have some natural talent. But then once you have it and you work on it years and years and years and years, you get better and better. And better.
Are there guys, you don't have to name names, are there guys when you started, you saw them out in New York, you thought this guy is not funny, and then they surprised you and now they have a big career?
Yeah.
Are there,
not even a big career? It's just like they're hilarious.
Oh,
and
really?
And it didn't start that way. It started like this guy couldn't. I've had that about me.
Really?
Somebody said that to me. It's like I thought you were gonna fail miserably. It's like, and you've gotten actually decently funny. Somebody said to me not a few years ago, it was years ago.
Yeah.
But they said when I first saw you in New York, he's like, you looked terrible, and now you're funny.
Wow.
So it
Nate's-
hurt me a little bit because I was like, oh, I didn't know it was terrible.
Uh-huh.
But
It's good
Yeah.
that none of us know how bad we are, or we probably would all quit, right?
right.
Yeah, well, I was talking about this weekend. You do need a little bit of delusion
Yes.
to just keep going. Because if you're fully aware, at least for me, if I was fully aware of how bad I was, I probably would have quit,
Yeah.
Mhm.
But in my head, I'm like, there's something here, even when there isn't,
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
it's a balance.
Nate started before I did, but the guys here in Nashville, I mean, he really started Chicago, but he would come to Nashville.
And he surprised you when he started to.
do well. No,
Yeah,
he
do
was
well
already
comedy.
great before when I met him, but the guys who here in Nashville who knew him when he started said he was not funny. at
Well,
all.
he was. I was with him in the early days in New York, and
Yeah.
he was always funny. But like the way he's evolved, it's like night and day. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable
Yeah.
how concise and well written everything. It's just But that's years and years, and that gives everybody else hope.
Yeah.
And it's like you celebrate it because it's like, oh yeah, of course there's raw talent there, but it's the work ethic and putting it in and watching something. There's something very pleasurable about watching something over time develop into
Mhm.
this great thing.
I mean, we're talking 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your life, it's your life, but you putting your life into developing something into greatness over time. It's unbelievable.
But I would say hard work is even more important.
Yeah,
You need both to
Mhm.
really get good, but
right.
I
You
mean-
need both, but like your heart too, and also like the way you live your life is also obvious. Like the way you navigate, like it's easy to get bitter. A lot of times, it's easy to like want to quit. It's easy just to not quit, but like. What do they call it? Quiet quit now, where it's like you're not writing anything new, but you're
Yeah.
still going up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So there's guys like that we all know,
Mhm.
and I understand it. I have empathy for it because it's very difficult. But if you're a guy who can just like stay the course and keep coming, it's like can't guarantee that you're going to be Nate. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But you'll be in a
Could
good
be
place.
Brian. Yeah.
well, you're absolutely right.
Sorry.
You're absolutely right. If you
Yeah.
can do it for a career full time, then you've made it.
Yeah, that's the goal.
I mean,
Yeah.
I couldn't. There's not many people that are happier than I am as
Right,
far as what
right,
we're doing.
right.
Yeah, look, we poke fun at you. You got the life. You got a wife, you got a kid, you're full-time comic.
Yeah, in your face, buddy. At least he's got one of those.
Fates, you're taking it to me today,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and I love it.
Yeah. All right.
I think the fans.
It's a
love
lot
it.
of
Take down this Yankee.
misplaced rage towards Nate because you're in that chair.
I'm in this
That's
chair.
what I think.
It has
Yeah.
nothing to do with me,
Yeah.
Well,
really.
I've started taking testosterone again, so it's starting to come out.
High T Brian is
Yeah.
a nightmare. Jacob Hoover from the Hoover family.
I didn't know there was another side
One
to
of the
this.
worst presidents ever. Right?
Hoover.
Yeah,
Herbert
what was
Hoover?
he like?
He sucked.
You remember? Did you
Was a
vote for him?
Hoover vacuum cleaner.
He's making an age joke, but
Oh.
now I've got you, right? So we can double down on the kid.
Jacob Hoover. I was wearing an Land t-shirt at a festival and found another folk. I told him that I was still trying to get my comment read out loud on the pod, and he said it might be because my name is too easy to say. Well, there you go. Jacob Hoover. Thanks for writing in. Thanks for wearing that Land t-shirt. I sell Land t-shirts at shows. I don't think I'm going to buy more of them.
Why not?
Because I've had this batch for a while, and it is a tough...
Mm.
It's a tough sell to people who've never heard of me or
Wow.
the podcast.
But
you
what
know?
about if you are you going to make the move to koozies? Maybe it's not the Land brand. Maybe it's the shirt that people don't like. Because aren't people shirtless in Alabama a lot?
Well,
they're cut off.
I'm talking your astronauts even.
Yeah.
well, what I find is because I sell similar shirts to Aaron.
Yeah.
That's only Nateland people will know.
Batesville.
Well, yeah, but it says hello, folks. And
All
it's- it's got me on there doing that. But now I'm going back to places that I've already been once.
Yeah.
And it's the same people coming out. So when I pitch my shirt, they're all like, yeah, we bought it last year. Because no new fans are coming.
Yeah.
You gotta-
Maybe a collared shirt for formal occasions.
Yeah. That's a good idea, actually.
Bates. Everybody else sells shirts. Bates is selling tuxedos.
Brian Parker. Many comedians seem to have a painful past or grew up with a lot of dysfunction. They use comedy to channel their thoughts and feelings into making fun of it. The cast of Nateland all seem to have come from nice living homes. Living homes.
I don't
They've had a nice living in homes.
know. Sure.
Where do you all draw your inspiration for comedy from?
Dusty draws his from his past.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he enjoyed his childhood, but
Yeah.
it was-
He'll be the first to tell you he had a loving mom and loving dad.
Yeah.
And despite the circumstances, he still did grow up with a great family.
Mhm.
But yeah, dude, most of the comics I hang out with are just like brutal family lives.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think I have a single comedian friend with a dad.
Thanks, buddy.
Oh my God, Brian.
Appreciate that.
I forgot. I wasn't thinking.
My dad passed away, so
I wasn't thinking about
let's move on.
No, he told me.
No.
He told me before the podcast he was going to say that.
Yeah, he was going to take a shot at.
He said he was going to try to hurt you.
I was making a joke and it fell flat. But I
it
didn't
didn't
know.
fell flat. It hit harder than ever. It got so real.
Just like my dad when he passed away. Oh, yeah. Why don't you tell us about? Because I don't want to be here all night. Tell us about Mint Mobile.
Oh, I was just about to talk to you about Mint Mobile. It's one of my favorite things in the world. Signing your life away to a big wireless provider is kind of like being trapped on a roller coaster. They probably threw in a free phone, but now you can't get off. Month after month of high bills, overages, and surprise fees. If that sounds like your current big wireless plan, it's time to get off the ride with Mint Mobile. See, I like that. That's a good metaphor.
Mm-hmm.
For the realities that a lot of us face being trapped in these contracts with these companies that don't care about you and don't care about customer service. For a limited time, wireless plans from Mint Mobile are just $15 a month. That's unlimited talk, text, and data for $15 a month. I mean, look, that is a steal. Those crazy low prices. They offer great service that is so affordable. If you have kids, this is a great option for them too. Wireless bills keep increasing, but Mint Mobile can help you save. Say goodbye to your big wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. You can use your own phone number with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. Get Mint Mobile's limited time deal with premium wireless service for just $15 a month. So, to get your new unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/Nate. That's mintmobile.com/Nate. Cut your wireless plan to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Nate.
Nice.
$15 a month.
Why not? Right?
Yeah, that's insane.
Time to get off the
That's
ride.
insanely
Yeah.
low, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Planet Fitness numbers. Brandon Conrad. Make sure you have the right Mike Vecchione for his comedy special. I just realized there's a professional hockey player of the same name. He plays for my local team, the Hershey Bears. That show might totally bomb if he gets mixed up.
No, I think it would be great. It's like you go to watch a comedy special and get a guy getting checked into the glass. It's like, this is an unbelievable, this is a new
This
take.
cold open is going for 20 minutes. Nate has really taken on a lot of creative power here.
Wow, this guy's doing something new and risky. But no, there is a Mike Vecchione who is a hockey player. He's very good. He played for the Flyers for a while. Now he plays for the Hershey Bears. And so he's fantastic. And then can I tell you guys about the other Mike Vecchiones?
Yeah.
There's a Mike Vecchione who used to be a district attorney for the Southern District in New York City. He used to prosecute. He was a rackets attorney. He would prosecute mob guys.
RICO Act, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and he's wrote a couple of books, which I've read. I've talked to him on the phone, actually. We're supposed to get together before COVID. But that's another Mike Vecchione. And then there's another Mike Vecchione who's a marine biologist.
Wow.
So I'm like the least successful Mike Vecchione.
Well, you're dominating them in search engine optimization. I'll tell you that.
Well, anytime I get a Tonight Show, I go on top. And then when the Mike Vecchione, who's a hockey player, scores, and he scored something in some Ryder Cup. It was not Ryder Cup. I'm saying the wrong thing. It was some kind of a cup for that division. He scored the winning goal, and everybody was DMing me that this Mike Vecchione. I didn't know you were a hockey player. They were just like,
in June of this year, Vecchione scored the series-winning goal in overtime of Game 7 of the 2023 Calder Cup.
Calder Cup. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So shout out to that Mike Vecchione. He's a handsome stud and
the
blue chip
zoologist
athlete.
has a Wikipedia page too.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have one, huh?
A Wikipedia?
Yeah.
I think I have an IMDb. What is that thing?
That's more impressive.
Yeah.
IMDb.
Yeah.
So that's not like a common name either. That's amazing. Like,
Well, in Italy, Bates, let me tell you about Italy.
hey, I've been to the zoo.
That was slam. That
go.
was a great
That
slam.
Was good.
In Italy, I think it's not that uncommon. You know, Vecchione.
But we're not in
means
Italy.
old
My
one.
name's Brian Bates, and I've set up a Google.
Way to set me straight, dude. We're not in Italy.
Yeah.
You wop.
Yeah.
It's like Bates. You didn't say that, but it had that right
I was thinking
that
it.
right in your tone.
I was thinking it.
I love it. I love it. Let me have it.
Can we?
I shouldn't be here. You did
can we leave
everything
that
except
in? I
call
don't
me a migrant.
Is that a derogatory term?
Wop, yeah.
Yeah.
But
It just means without
he can
papers. It's
say
not
it.
dirty.
It's an acronym.
Oh.
It's like NASA.
Oh, okay. So we can leave that in. No, I set up a Google name thing for myself. So every day I just read about more successful Brian Bateses because it's never me.
Yeah.
There's a guy who's called he's called himself the golly, I forgot now, the video vigilante. And he goes around and like films Johns with prostitutes and like tries to embarrass them. There's this guy, he's an immigration lawyer in Houston.
One of the top immigration lawyers in Houston, Texas.
Oh my God.
Brian Bates.
And that guy's better looking than you.
Well, he works for Fong Login. Of course he's going to be successful.
Right. That's a good firm.
Yeah. So, all right.
What does he do? Now he goes around and he videotapes people and then blackmails them.
This is a different.
That guy looks like he would do that, by the way.
This is a totally different
Can you
guy.
Google video vigilante?
Yeah, I think vigilante Brian Bates.
I don't even think you have to do Brian Bates.
JohnTV.com.
Yeah, that's him. He's got his own.
You're busted.
Oh
buddy.
my God.
The original video vigilante.
This is how I think this is the direction you should take your career.
Since 1996, Brian Bates, Oklahoma's own video vigilante, has been spotlighting the graphic realities of street, forced, and underage prostitution. This is like serious stuff, huh?
But he has more TV credits than I do.
Yeah.
And then I'll say one more.
Right.
When
damn, he looks pretty good too.
Yeah, good looking guy. We all are.
He's handsome.
There was when the McDonald's character Grimace,
Yeah.
they announced he was a taste bud. Did you guys hear that?
No.
That's what he is. He's a taste bud. But it was some McDonald's manager in Canada that broke the news. His name was Brian Bates. So
wow,
I got all these alerts about Grimace because Brian Bates broke the news. So anyway,
I like how he's like, "Did you hear about Grimace? The news?" I'm like, "I don't know. I haven't read the McDonald's newsletter recently, Brian."
Well, Nate gets it. So.
Yeah.
Forgot Nate wasn't here. All right.
Here we go. We got a comment from Brandon Conrad.
We just did that one.
Just did that one. We got one from Robert Ramey. This is a good question. What should the speed limit be if all cars are self-driving? It's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Now, I know that for gas-powered vehicles, during the Cold War, when there was a gas and oil shortage, a lot of the speed limits were changed to 55 to maximize engine efficiency. But I assume that these self-driving vehicles are all going to be electric. Yeah. I don't know how the speed affects the battery. I don't know if there's like a maximum efficiency point. So I think you can just go as fast as you want, right? Why not go 100 miles an hour?
Yeah, because it's going to have a detector when you get close enough to another car to slow down, right? So why
what
does
about
it matter?
A kid crossing the street?
It's going to have a detector, isn't it?
You have to run fast. Kid's going to have to run faster.
But if you're going 100 miles an hour and it stops, you're going to...
Well, if you hit the kid, then they'll just replace him with robotic parts, I would imagine. This is all in the future, right?
Yeah.
He's like $6 million man. Right. I don't know if anybody's old enough to remember that, but it's Steve Austin.
Yeah.
But
Lee Majors.
Steve Stone Cold. But so $6 million in the future will be nothing.
Nothing. Yes.
Yeah, just inflation and everything. It'll be like Zimbabwe money or something.
Right.
So I imagine maybe in the interstate we have an express lane on the left, and it's just like, hey, you can't get off for 500 miles or something, and you have to drive 250 miles an hour. That would be the way to do it.
Yeah. Well, maybe every lane's got their own speed limit.
Yeah.
That would be good.
But the faster the lane, the more you have to go before you can exit.
I think so. I think you have to commit to a certain length just so everyone can get the most out of it. You know.
Imagine going 250 and then having to change lanes over to 100.
Can I get over? Hey, can I get over?
Yeah, it would have to almost have a separate exit. There's going to be a lot of infrastructure involved in this, I think.
Infrastructure. Wow. Okay.
What?
I like the word infrastructure.
It is a good word. You don't think that R is going to be in there, but it's in
there.
Yeah, infrastructure.
I like three guys talking about infrastructure who had no idea about it. It's like, we should do this. It's like, we should have another lane with its own speed limit, and then we should have a train that goes faster than that.
Right.
It's like, do we just have infinite space?
Cement. Yeah.
We need the infrastructure.
Infrastructure.
Michael Ellsworth, do you find yourself adjusting final jokes at the end of your set to be sure you don't, quote, pull a bait at the end? Oh, man, that's brutal. Like, if a joke doesn't land with a crowd, do you have an alternative for the end of the set? Or if something kills harder than normal, will you finish the set early to end on a high note? It's another great question, I think.
Yeah. Let me take this one? Mike?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What does he mean by pool of baits?
I don't know.
Yeah. He mentioned your name in it, so go on the offensive. Michael.
He's talking about the fiasco about the standing ovation and everything at the drive-by. I think that's what he's referencing.
Maybe. I mean, these jokes are these comments are in my evergreen stack.
Yeah.
You know, so he could have 2 years ago could have emailed that when we were talking about something. I don't remember. I definitely, if I'm like one joke away from maybe the closer and the joke before that does really well, I've gotten off early.
If you've done your time, you're like, might as well just tap out of here for sure.
And I certainly adjust. Boy, when I was new, I just couldn't do that. Like, I'm like, I got to stick to the script. These are the jokes. I don't have anything. But now, thankfully, if the audience just isn't digging it, I can pivot some. I mean, I can't just launch into crowd work, but I can pivot a little bit.
Right.
We haven't seen you since the Dry Bar special came out, have we?
Well, we recorded yesterday's.
Oh, yeah.
It hasn't come out yet, but the one with John Chris.
I can't remember what I've seen, people.
Yeah.
It's good to see you, man.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I mentioned it briefly, but Nate shut it down pretty fast.
Were you happy with how it came out and everything? Did you watch it? Did you go through, like Mike watched his 4 times?
You know, I watched it. They sent me a rough draft ahead of time, and I gave them one note. I left out a line of a joke. I don't know why, just whatever reason, just skip my. But we did 2 tapings that night, so I emailed them and I said, "Hey, could you, for this joke, I left out this line. Could you use the version from the other show?" I can't swear that I didn't leave it out on both shows, but the odds are pretty slim. And then when I got the final version, they had not changed it. So there was a
Mhm.
line and joke that was left out, which I didn't like that. Some of the jokes did not hit as hard as I feel like they do every weekend on the
Mhm.
road. But overall, yeah,
It looked really great.
I was
man.
happy.
Yeah,
That's
the
awesome.
clip was good.
I hope it helps you sell on the road.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
What
I don't
kind of
know.
road?
I feel
That's
like that
awesome.
sound.
The comedy
I feel like you're
road.
saying it sarcastically, but
Absolutely not.
All right.
I mean that genuinely.
All right.
I hope it does help. I would never joke.
Is
about
it hard for you
something
to jump? You get whiplash from jumping back to sincere and sarcastic?
No, I don't know. I figured you guys could tell we're in the same room together.
Yeah,
You
I
guys could
can't-
feel the energy.
but I think that's the first sincere comment of the day, and we're over an hour into this. So,
Do you ever do you debrief the podcast on your drive home in your mind?
I run through it in my head. I think about stuff I wish I hadn't said, that
Mhm.
kind of stuff.
Stuff I wish I said. Stuff I.
Yeah.
So we did it hasn't come out yet. Well, we taped it yesterday, the Georgia episode.
Mhm.
I can already predict some things people are going to say.
What are they going to say?
Too Atlanta heavy, but
Oh,
so much
yeah.
of Georgia is Atlanta.
Right?
Yeah.
But and then every state now they say you didn't get to this.
Yeah.
We didn't even touch on really Chick-fil-A, Waffle House, stuff you think would be in our wheelhouse.
The important stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Home Depot.
But don't read the comments. Why do you guys read the comments? I mean, I read them too,
I mean,
but it's like none of us should read any of
We've
them.
been reading them all this podcast.
But these are the positive. These people are good
but
people who are
Brian
writing
sorts through them. That's the
Oh,
tough
yeah.
part.
Yeah, and I have to pull a Bates on myself.
Yeah. That's like tough. Well, could I answer this one?
Yes,
Because I have some insight into Michael's comment.
I love it.
And it's not sarcastic. If I do a joke and it bombs, I'll just go, let's give it up for the troops. I'm for the troops. And if anybody doesn't clap, I'll go, Al Qaeda, Al Qaeda, Al Qaeda, you hate America, you hate America, you hate America, get out of my show. But no, I
that's
always,
not bad.
even if the thing goes on a high note, I'll go the extra. If I have another joke, I'll do it anyway.
Mhm.
Just to see. And then if it fails, I go, I should have ended with the other joke, but I
right.
pushed it too far
Yeah.
and you guys didn't go with me. I always turn it and put it on the audience. I make it their fault.
Yeah, you're great at that. I meant that sincerely.
Yeah. You guys are both really strong comics.
Oh,
Kevin
my
Nealon, when Kevin Nealon did the podcast, he told a great trick that about for corporate gigs. He'll say if the crowd's not paying attention, he'll just start saying a prayer.
He was like, let's bow our heads and pray.
Really
So
great.
everybody's- And that gets everybody to be like, ugh, they get quiet, and then you can start your set.
That's
Right?
really
Like,
great.
Yeah, that's a good technique. Tough to do in a club. It'd be weird to
Yeah.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
start
well, the
some-
club shouldn't.
Mhm.
They should be policing.
they should have started the
Yeah.
show with the prayer. The Pledge of
I was gonna
Allegiance and
say
a
the
prayer.
pledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they still do the Pledge of Allegiance places? I can't remember the last
I've never
time.
done it. I've never been at a
You've never done the Pledge of Allegiance?
pledge at a
You're
club
Al-Qaeda,
at a
dude.
comedy show.
Yeah. What's up? Yeah. No, not at a comedy
Oh,
show.
okay.
I mean,
Anywhere.
in general.
We
When you're a
worked in a
kid, I did
school.
it every day. I
Every
did the Pledge
day.
of Allegiance.
Every day.
And I don't think I've done it maybe since. I don't think I ever did it in high school.
Oh, wow.
Maybe I did in high school. I can't remember.
When you taught, did
Yeah.
you guys do it?
The pledge every day.
Didn't
With
the Pledge of
announcements.
Allegiance come
They do it
along-
over the announcements.
Mhm.
Yeah.
over for the
Yeah.
whole
So
school.
But
if you want to hear what's for lunch today, you're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance.
That's right.
But do you make the kids recite it, or do they just have to listen?
No, I think when I taught
Mm.
20 years ago, so
Mhm.
everybody would stand up
Right.
and then it was the pledge.
And you
It was
shame the kids that don't say under God. Is that what you do? Like a good teacher.
We're going to do 5 minutes. You know, meditation is frowned. They can't get meditation through the school system because they think it's in conflict with God.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So it's like that's a whole thing. It's like we don't need your voodoo in here. It's like it's science-backed meditation. It's 5 minutes of meditation. They're not telling you to think about
Right.
another God. You can think about your whatever you want. It's
Uh-huh.
like mindful.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be
It's quiet time.
quiet. The practice of letting thoughts go is really what you're supposed to be doing, and it has nothing to do with any of
Yeah.
it. And it's supposed to like scientifically be proven to work, just like cold showers. I'm pushing all of my stuff on you guys. And
This is the South, Mike. Come
yeah,
on.
I know, but they won't let it.
Yoga was banned in schools until pretty recently.
I mean, that's
I mean,
it can only help you.
I didn't get to this in the Georgia episode, but when it was founded, the two things they banned were rum and Catholics, and I support both of those. It makes me want to move to Georgia. You guys are both Catholic, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
All right.
and I love the slam.
Yeah.
and I
Yeah, yeah, it
appreciate
was
it. And
nice.
I don't think Georgia's wrong.
Mm.
Actually, I like taking a side against my own
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
Anybody who goes against Italians and Catholics,
Yeah.
I get on board with it. I at least love the effort on the slam.
Pledge of
Every
Allegiance
time.
came along very late, though, didn't it? Like you think it's since the founding of our country, but I think it was like the 1950s or something when it was.
Was it? I wasn't alive back then, but you were in school?
Come on. What are we, 9 months apart or something?
The same age.
I
think we're the same age.
It was written. The first version was written in 1892 to mark the 400th anniversary of Christopher Columbus in the Americas.
All right, I was wrong.
The pledge that we recite now was written in 1954. That's way
All right.
later than I thought.
Oh, wow.
I thought they were doing this at the constitutional.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
know,
thought so too.
Yeah, like Ben Franklin was doing.
There would have been a lot of more ye's in it.
Mm-hmm.
And
old.
yeah.
At the right hand is extended. Blah blah blah. Anyway, yeah, that's way later than I thought.
The first version was written by Francis Bellamy. He used to open for me. Francis Bellamy in 1892.
Bill Bellamy's younger cousin.
So this is probably done in kind of the Cold War furor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Furor.
Mm-hmm.
No, not furor.
Furor's not. That's something different.
Fervor.
Whoa, very
Wow,
different.
that was
very
cool.
different. The Cold War.
We found it, though.
fervor.
You found it.
I did find it.
But yeah, it was like if you didn't say it, then you were a communist.
Right,
Probably back then, right?
McCarthyism.
McCarthyism, yeah.
That's a good point. All right. This week, guys, we're talking about geniuses.
All right.
We got rid of the less intellectual two, and we got three smart guys here at the table.
We can finally get into it.
Yeah.
Huh?
Now, I've said on this podcast that Nate and Dusty are two of the versions of Goodwill Hunting in comedy. I mean, where they started to where they're at now is pretty crazy.
Right.
I mean, neither one was very smart, but they're so successful.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're both very smart.
Right.
But Dusty grew up in a trailer. Well, we don't have to, you guys know.
Yeah.
I don't have to rehash their bio.
So you could say street smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Versus book smart.
Yeah. But very
Are
creative.
they book smart?
The streets of comedy.
Yeah. Street smart is just it's common sense skills and navigating life. And book smart.
When you say street smarts, I think like they're playing 3-card money somewhere. Which I don't think Nate and Dusty.
Street smarts. Nate and Dusty were playing stickball in Brooklyn. Street smarts, you know, kid? Street smarts. They got moxie, both of them.
So genius, the definition of a genius, you want to know?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's all intellect.
Somebody, can I guess?
Yeah.
Your IQ is over 160? If your IQ's over if your IQ's over 165, you're a genius.
I think that's right.
Yes. And that makes me pretty smart.
That bumps you up a couple.
I don't think it's clearly, I mean, it's just that.
165?
Is there like a medical definition?
No.
An official definition for a genius?
No, there's not. It's associated with intellectual ability, but also creative productivity. So that's where Nate and Dusty.
That's where you can make an argument. Yeah, Nate is a genius.
Yeah.
But can you guys break down intellectual ability? Because really, what IQ is
intelligence quointient.
Yes,
that's where
you're really taking it to bare bones.
Where the I and the Q come from. Let's start at the beginning. Yeah,
but measuring intellect is like your ability to work through a series of tasks in an efficient way, to master a skill in an efficient way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's what it is, and I didn't realize that until pretty recently.
It sounds like a good way of reframing it to fit what you got going on.
Well, no, it doesn't. Actually, I'm far from it. I'm deficient in it all. That's why it's like mine is probably on the lower end. But like putting together like things like you buy a bedroom set like when you had a baby. So it's like putting together a crib from IKEA. Mm-hmm. That's IQ. It's like how fast can you do it? Can you figure it out? Screws and bolts and all this stuff everywhere. It's written in Swedish. So it's like you go in and it's like somebody with a high IQ figures that they have no background in it. They look at all the information and they figure it out and put it together quickly without having emotional breakdowns and all kinds of stuff that somebody with a lower IQ would have.
How did you build the crib, Brian? Were you a genius about it?
Yeah, I called my brother-in-law and had him come over one weekend when I was out of town.
That might be the smartest way to do it.
That is street smart.
Hire somebody else to do it. Street smarts.
Marry someone who has a brother who knows how to do stuff.
There you go.
Yeah.
He has a high IQ. Probably.
Yeah. And he knows I don't know how to fix anything. Well, there is no even a clear IQ. I read different things. One thing said when it first started, if you have 140 or above, you're considered genius. But that was 1 in every 250 people. To me, that seems too low.
That's way too low a threshold.
140 is high though.
Yeah. It's high,
a high IQ.
I think a genius. Then they proposed 180, which would be about
I mean,
1 in every 2 million. To me, that seems too high.
yeah.
160 to me seems
165,
like
160, I think is genius.
What was the last one?
Is genius.
1 in every 2 million people.
So how many people are in the United States?
300 million?
Yes.
300
So there'd be
million?
150 geniuses in the country?
Does that sound right to you? To me, that seems low.
I think I kind of like that. That makes it more exclusive.
I think Tennessee has 6 million people or something like that. Does that mean there's 3 geniuses in the whole state?
Probably. That sounds right. With as many Waffle Houses as you have. Yeah. The ratio of Waffle House to geniuses is always important. Do you guys know Mensa?
I was getting that next.
Okay.
Are you a member?
No.
Mark Knudsen
Yeah.
has a joke that said, I tried to join Mensa, but I failed, so I joined Womansa.
That's a great joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mensa, do you know the qualifications for that?
You have to take a test. Do you have to have an IQ over a certain? Yeah, you have to take a test. You have to have a certain IQ to apply. Correct?
I think it's just the
You have to take the IQ test.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you have to be in the 98th percentile on an IQ test.
Oh my
90
God.
so
98th?
So
Or
2%.
other standardized intelligence test. Yeah.
So you got to be in the top 2%.
Top 2%.
Wow.
Now there's a girl who's like 3 years old now who just joined Mensa.
Ah, jeez.
These
But-
2-year-olds are getting arrogant.
I know. But
She's
her
so
test
cocky.
is on a level of a 2-year-old.
Right.
Yeah, they're like build these blocks real quick.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's
And then
not like she's
in
taking the same thing
Mensa.
we are. But
She's better at Legos than all of us.
yeah.
That's too young for Legos, I think.
What were we going to say about Mensa?
I just know about it.
Yeah.
That's as close. That's how low my IQ is. I know about it, but that's it.
Do you know what they do?
I think they get together and talk down to dumb people. Isn't that what they do?
I think it is. I think they just get together and
They get together and play chess.
I think they just talk
Yeah.
about bright ideas, almost like a think tank. I think
Right.
they just get together and
Solve the world's problems.
yeah.
That's
And
what I thought.
They're doing great.
That's what I thought smoking should be. It's like they got their outcasts and they have their own section outside where they can smoke. It's like if you're going to smoke, it's like there should be a sign with a topic. It's like climate change and then smoke and then they have to solve it.
Mm.
Wouldn't that be a better use of their time?
Before they go back inside.
Yeah, if you're going to kill you're killing yourself. So it's like you're with other people and you're your own group. So, instead of just talking about the weather and the 40% chance of rain, maybe you could talk about, climate change and then, solve it and go back in with the answer.
Well, sometimes they
Wouldn't
do
that
end
be
up
make-
talking about that stuff out there.
Would it
You
be?
know?
But
Some-
it would
some
have
of the
been.
best
Outside
conversations.
Zanies?
Some of the best conversations are just out there.
Yeah,
Talk about that kind of stuff.
right. But that's my idea for the smokers. And also Mensa, it's like give them a topic and then force them to solve it. Like don't let them out of the room. Make it like
Right.
a forced jury
Right.
duty kind of
You're
thing.
self-declared genius.
Yes.
Let's get on it.
Right.
Fix some stuff.
Yeah.
I have an IQ test pulled up here. I want to run through some of these questions
Oh,
just to see
no.
how we fare. We're just going to do a few.
Okay.
This is not
You going to
look-
participate, Mike?
Yeah, I'm in.
All right. You've been talking down to us this whole podcast. It's time to put your money where your
Come on,
mouth
New York,
is.
buddy.
But I talk down knowing that I don't have intelligence. So that's what makes me unique.
Mm.
Right. You just explained sarcasm to us.
How are we going to do
Being
this?
very condescending. What number is 1/4 of 1/10 of 1/5 of 200?
I mean, I could do this. It would just take me some time.
How?
Yeah,
well,
it would take
should
me
be
time
easy. How
to-
do you approach it?
Uh,
What number is 1/4 of 1/10 of 1/5 of 200?
I would start at 200, and then
Yeah,
I would say 1/5 of that is. I have to do the math.
40,
Yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
40
and then 1/10 of that,
would be 4.
and then 1/4 of that.
Would be 1.
Yeah.
1. There you go.
All right.
1. There you go.
Mm.
That's
We were
right.
all supposed to answer. This wasn't supposed to be group work. we
I
all
think
did it.
combined.
We all did it in the time that one smart person could have done it.
All right. Yeah.
Just answer this next one on your own.
This is a palindrome is a word or phrase that is spelled the same written. I explain what a palindrome is. Stets is a palindrome. That's true.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was easy. All right. This is
Now we
more
start
boring than I
insulting
thought
the
it
test
would.
makers. That was too
Idiots.
easy. You guys are dumb.
It's about to get real hard. I got bored of this pretty quickly,
All right.
but I think we passed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think we're all geniuses. Is that what we
Yeah,
figured?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, we quit the test?
I got bored of
That's
it
the
real
best
quick.
way.
I mean, it's just we're taking a math test
Yeah,
on a podcast.
come on.
I thought that would be fun.
I mean, what are we trying to get in the country?
We took that test on
We took the-
We took the immigration.
It's like after question 3, they have you do the Pledge of Allegiance, and then you're a citizen.
We did 2 questions. We're out of here.
We're outta here.
Well, that's part of it. The patience and the commitment required to take this
don't bang
test.
your head on the door. Just try a window.
Try a window.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Einstein never officially took a IQ test.
I know. I found that.
You know what I love about Einstein's story is that he worked in that patent office for like 10 years. And he wasn't just working in the patent office. He was an accomplished guy, but working in a patent office because he couldn't get a professorship like everybody else. So he worked in the patent office for 10 years while his contemporaries were all at these high-level professorships and universities and getting all the glory. He just stayed tried and true. And he would get the patent work done quickly because he's so intelligent. So then he would just think about his experiments and relativity for the rest of the time.
There's a ton of downtime at his job, probably.
Yeah. It was a ton because he got everything done so fast. But then he married his cousin and just
did he really?
Yeah, he married his cousin.
Well, that's Germany. That's common, right?
I mean, yeah, whatever makes you happy, whatever helps you sleep at night.
And your family German?
No, I don't know.
No.
I don't even know. If
I don't know
German.
if it was common, but he did it. He pulled the trigger on it.
Wow.
And,
it's a different time.
Yeah, he was from Germany, right? Or Austria? And then we brought him over here.
We brought him over
during the war. Hello, folks, to HelloFresh.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here all night, guys. I'm going to read this. With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasoned recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. This is why it's America's #1 meal kit. A busy fall schedule, I wish, doesn't always leave you with time to spare. And with HelloFresh, you don't need to spend all evening in the kitchen to whip up a wholesome meal. Don't worry if you're not a pro in the kitchen. HelloFresh has foolproof recipes arrive pre-portioned and easy to prepare in just a few steps. The HelloFresh app makes it easy to change your delivery day, food preferences, and plan size, or skip a week whenever you need to. It says to share a personal experience. Okay, I love HelloFresh. We come home from on the road. I'm not going to make my wife, who's been watching the baby all weekend, cook me dinner.
Right.
I can do it.
Yeah.
A little HelloFresh for the whole family. It's healthy. It's good. And if you go to HelloFresh.com/50Nateland and use code 50Nateland for 50% off, plus 15% off the next 2 months. It's like an IQ test. I don't know what that comes to. Percentages of percentages. That's 50% off plus 15% off the next 2 months at HelloFresh.com/50Nateland and use code 50Nateland, America's #1 meal kit. You want to talk about some celebrities that are the smartest celebrities?
Oh,
no, I'd love to.
Anybody want to guess a celebrity that's really smart?
Madonna. I know
She is.
Madonna's very smart.
She
Is
is.
really?
Yeah, Madonna's really smart. John Gotti was really smart.
Madonna has a 140 IQ.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
about John Gotti, but that doesn't
When do
surprise
these
me.
celebrities take IQ tests and then release the results to the public? How does this come out?
In every green room. There is, I don't know.
I guess if you do really well, you want people to know. Or you could just lie.
Yeah.
Our publicist puts that out there.
Yeah.
Well, the highest, James Woods.
Wow.
James Woods, the shark.
Is that what he calls himself?
He was
Or-
on a show called the very short-lived show on CBS called The Shark, where he played a quick-witted attorney.
Yeah, James Woods is great. He's a great actor.
Great in
He,
Entourage,
I think on Inside the Actor Studios at the show, he said he had an IQ of 184.
Oh my God.
So that is genius level on any
Genius level.
level.
184 is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like what a waste being an actor.
Yeah, you'd have to solve like well, maybe he's a scientist in his spare time. I don't know.
I don't know. Some people here that you might believe, some that would surprise you. Sylvester Stallone, 160
Wrote Rocky, the greatest movie of all time.
in 3
Yeah, I
days.
forget that he wrote.
He wrote
that
it on a
movie, too.
napkin.
He directed as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's all impressive.
That does make sense. And he has that rough exterior, like, yeah. So he's playing a dumb guy, but he has that IQ of one. I did not know Sylvester Stallone had that, but it makes sense.
Didn't he steal that though from somebody? That script?
And still a script? I don't think so. No. The story is based on Chuck Wepner,
Yeah.
who fought Muhammad Ali. Like Stallone went to that fight and saw Wepner lose badly to Ali, but never give up.
Right.
And he got the idea from the movie, but that's not, I mean, all respect to Chuck Wepner. That's Wepner's story, but
Right.
that's not, he got the inspiration from watching that fight, but that's not Wepner's
Does
His
Chuck,
idea.
does
His
Chuck
name wasn't
Wepner,
Rocky.
is he mad about it? Or
He sued
Yeah, okay.
Stallone.
That's what
I mean,
Whoa.
years later,
Whoa.
Yeah.
after the movie, but he sued them. Yeah.
What's your favorite Rocky? Or
One.
What's the order?
I think Rocky 1 is the best movie of all time. It's got everything in it. It's endearing. It's funny. It's emotional. Every scene is captivating. It's really an unbelievable movie, and it's a story. It's really not about boxing at all. It's about love and about the human spirit, about two losers becoming winners.
Yeah.
You know, it's got everything in it.
Do you want to? Well, what's the next? Rank the Rockies.
Rocky 1, Rocky 2, Rocky 4,
okay,
Rocky 3.
Do it in order, yeah.
And then we're off into those were the only ones. 5. I really have to defend 5. 5 would have been great without the Tommy Gunn caricature. Like that whole thing made it bad. But the fact of him losing all of his money and going back to South Philly in the streets and then raising his son, like that would have been if they would have just took it. They would have just pivoted a little bit and went in another direction. That would have been a fantastic movie. But it missed the mark a little bit. But I do love the fact that Paulie screwed up. I love organic things that happen to me. Paulie screwing up and losing all of their money and him having to go back to the streets and train fighters and stuff. That is a very organic thing that could have happened in the context of the story.
Yeah. You like the underdog role, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, he was always an underdog, but
right. I love stuff where it's like organic in nature and like I hate it when I'm watching something and something is shoehorned in. I can feel it. We can all feel it. It's like it's meant to try to make you feel a certain emotion, but it's not organic to the story. I drop out as soon as that happens.
What about Rocky Balboa?
I don't like the fact that he's an upscale restaurateur. That just kind of I dropped off that. I didn't like that whole movie.
The
5 I thought was better, and people are like, no, 6 they want it back. I got no. 5.
You know what was better than 6? The boxing itself is so much better.
In 6?
As far as the actual looking real?
Well, because Antonio Tarver, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is in that movie. He's unbelievable. He's like a pro.
But in the other Rockies,
champion.
The fighting, the way they shoot the camera angle and stuff like that, in 6, it looks like a real fight. I mean, as much as you can with a 60-year-old man in the ring.
Well, I'm not. Yeah, the 60-year-old man, like stuff like that, where it's like you'll accept things about a movie, but like a 60-year-old man fighting a fight and being competitive is crazy.
Yeah, it's silly.
Well, I agree with you. The first one's the best.
First one is the best.
Yeah.
I would argue the best movie of all time. My favorite movie of all time.
I've never heard someone say that.
Yeah. Well, you're hearing it here.
Yeah, and I respect it as an opinion. I've just never heard. You hear the movies that are talked about, Godfather, whatever.
Godfather's
Shawshank
great.
Redemption,
Shawshank is great.
Citizen
I get
Kane.
Yeah.
For the artsy people out there.
Get all of it. I get all of it. But for my money, Rocky. I mean, Rocky has everything. If you watch the scenes are fall down funny. Like, and there's like little inside things that are organic to Italians and I think South Philly. Like Adrian has to go home and she goes, if I don't go home, Paulie has to go home. And he goes, I got to go. If I don't go, Adrian calls all the hospitals. That's a very specific thing, but something that would happen if she didn't make it home. There's no cell phones at the time. It's like somebody's not home in like 15 minutes. Like something happened and they start to panic and then they would call all the hospitals. It's a very, it sounds ridiculous now, but it's a very real niche thing. That was a concern. Like back
so
then.
We wouldn't even know that.
No.
What's your favorite scene in that movie? I'm sorry to keep dwelling on this movie, but I got one in mind.
This will be Geniuses in parentheses Rocky.
Okay.
Genius. We started doing that for episode titles.
I didn't do it.
You didn't do it for the last one?
I mean, I guess it's Warren. We can still change it, I guess, right?
Georgia parentheses Regis Philbin, and this one will be.
Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, somebody said we should stop calling it something because we barely actually talk about the topic.
Yeah.
We should put what they actually talked about in parentheses.
So we'll do Georgia.
But doesn't that give it away? Doesn't that tilt it too much?
I don't know. I want it to be funny, but also get people to actually watch. So, so sometimes we can go too deep in the weeds. And,
well, you just have to do it like this one. You guys should write Mike Vecchione gets exposed. Just say that. And then people will like, oh, yeah, they're exposing him.
Yeah. Why Mike Vecchione hates the South.
Something
like that.
Hill folk turn against Yankee. Yankee gets slammed, tail between his legs.
Yeah. Well, that'll be in the show description, but not in the title. I also like that.
Civil War Part 2.
All right. My favorite scene in Rocky is when Mickey goes when he gets the fight.
Yeah.
And Mickey goes to him, kind of tail between his legs, kind of
Yes.
asking him to manage him. And it's such a powerful scene because he's the guy who's down on his luck too and never made it.
Right.
And it's a powerful scene.
It is a powerful scene. I agree with you. And it's good to know that you have a heart, Bates. I was starting to wonder a couple hours into this podcast.
I know. It all comes out when Nate's not here.
All right.
My favorite is, and this is a niche one, but it's when he's in the car with the loan shark, and the loan shark's driver tells him, Adrian, to go to the zoo. Take her to the zoo. She's slow. Take her to the zoo. Yeah. They like the zoo.
Yeah.
And Rocky,
take her to Little Italy.
Aaron, that was great. Yeah, and he goes back. He's like arguing with the guy back and forth, and finally the mob guy, he goes, "All right, stop the arguing." He takes Rocky outside, and he goes, "Buddy, don't like you." And Rocky goes, "Yeah," and he goes, "Some guys hate for no reason." That's such a great. It's such a great scene. Do you never hear that today? Yeah. Everybody's always some guys hate for no reason. It's just such a funny thing to say.
Yeah.
And he talks to Rocky. He was always very supportive of Rocky, but that was my favorite scene. He's like, "Take her to the zoo." They like the zoo. And he's like, "Does that guy got to say that? Does he got to say that?" And he's like, and they're just going back and forth. And he's like, "Some guys hate for no reason."
Yeah, that's a great scene.
It's a great one.
All right, some other celebrities with really high IQs. Reggie Jackson.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
160.
The baseball player?
Yeah. Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
Not surprising anybody.
That makes sense.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon seems like he's smart.
Conan O'Brien. Well,
Conan is.
Matt Damon's a genius and wrote a movie about himself being a genius.
I don't know if he's a genius, but it says 160. Is that the best?
160 is pretty high.
It is.
Yeah.
Have you ever taken an official IQ test or anything?
My mom told me what mine was when I was young.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Is this going to be Mike Vecchione reveals how dumb he is?
Yeah.
Was it triple digits?
Yeah, it was to be honest, it was 119.
119 is great.
Yeah.
I mean, that's functional.
Functional, yeah.
I'm a functional member of society with 119.
All right, I love this guy. I was looking up some child prodigies. Mozart, of course, Bobby Fischer. Mm-hmm. Michael Kearney. Michael Kearney graduated high school at age 6. He his family, he lived in California. His family moved to Alabama.
There you go.
At the age of 8, he enrolled at the University of South Alabama.
In Mobile, Alabama. Yeah.
Now, you would say, well, that's easy. So it was the Guinness Book of World Record for youngest graduate at the age of 10.
Wow.
Age of 14, he obtained a master's degree in chemistry from my alma mater, Middle Tennessee State University.
Wow.
Age 18, he obtained his master's degree in computer science at Vanderbilt University, Nate's pretend alma mater. And then, you guys want to know what he's doing now?
What does he do? He's a comedian?
Improv in Nashville.
Are you kidding me?
Up until recently. I don't know if he still is or not. The last thing I could find on him, he was working for like Nashville Improv.
Wow.
Whoa. What's his name?
Michael Kearney. I looked him up on Facebook. We had 2 mutual friends. One on, well, I don't want to go too far, I guess, on who the person was. But I asked this person about him, and he knew him.
Wow.
So
Man.
That's the smartest guy in the world. Do improv.
Well, he's got that chemistry background to fall back. I mean, maybe he can work chemistry into his improv.
Be like a corporate act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So what's your favorite movie about a genius? I can list some here if you don't remember. I mean, to me, it's Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting was pretty great. Yes, yeah. As a janitor who used to do high-level math at a Harvard University.
At
I
MIT.
have to say that was my favorite.
Yeah.
MIT, right?
MIT's
and his friends were like knuckle dragger types.
You have some phrases and terms that we don't know.
Great slang. I love
it. One thing from that movie that came from real life, Matt Damon's brother Kyle was
Kyle Damon,
I guess, was visiting a physicist at the MIT campus and came across an equation on a hallway chalkboard. The brother decided to complete the equation with totally fake numbers, and the masterpiece remained untouched for months because everybody was like, I think this might be real or whatever. So that's where he got the inspiration for that scene.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting.
That is very interesting because, a really dumb person would just write graffiti.
Yeah.
under it, or like draw something that we
Something
really can't
vulgar.
talk about. Yeah, we can't talk
Right,
about on this
right,
podcast, but
right.
it's something vulgar on there. Yeah, but this guy actually fake solved the problem.
Yeah. A Beautiful Mind. You guys seen that?
Yeah,
Another great
Yeah.
film. Ron Howard.
Yeah, it was a Ron Howard film, I think.
Yeah, he won an Oscar for it.
Okay. Yeah.
What's
yeah,
the
you
one?
Weren't, you weren't asking as a question. Okay.
What's the one on Netflix right
Because
now?
I'm thinking about Russell Crowe.
This guy, you don't even know the films we're talking about. Yeah, but Ron.
How about Queen's Gambit? Have you seen that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
a television show.
That's a television
We're
show.
talking about movies,
Oh, okay.
and we're going to move into television shows in a few minutes. So hold your horses. There,
Way to
buddy.
backhand me back
Yeah.
into my place.
We got 2 hours left of this podcast.
Yeah.
So if you could just slow down.
We're doing a Guinness Book of World Records.
Longest
The
continuous podcast.
Now I think I've only seen A Beautiful Mind once, but I remember the scene at the end where the faculty leaves the pen
Right.
for him.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
According to Princeton, that's all made up for
What
Hollywood.
kind of fades as to how it ends? It's like spoiler alert if you haven't watched, but it's like he's delusional, right?
Mhm.
So it's like all the people get together at the end and they kind of smile
Well,
at him or something. I kind of lost.
Delusional feels a little dismissive of a legitimate mental condition.
All right, well that's exactly the way I meant it.
And you worked in
So,
special education, right?
Yes. So live with it or don't.
So
No,
it turns out John Nash bit of an airhead at the end of the movie. It's like, yeah, no, he's schizophrenic.
He's schizophrenic.
He was a dumb,
Okay,
dumb blonde.
my fault, guys. No disrespect. He's schizophrenic or whatever.
Yeah.
But no, like I think like the illusions of the people, like kind of waving to him was I don't know. I kind of lost interest during the end. It kind of petered out for me.
Oh, interesting.
The last scene of the movie.
Yeah, like towards the end, I was like, "What is this guy's thing? Is he
Right.
really seeing things? Like,
Mhm.
what are the people
Yeah.
really there?" And then they
Right.
just kind of like,
Mhm.
I don't know. There was no big ending for me, kind of there.
Yeah. Well,
See, I was trying to
won
protect
an
Ron
Oscar, but
Howard
yeah.
because I knew he
Yeah.
wouldn't like it. But
I go after Ron Howard.
yeah,
Well, the real story is he thought people were communicating to him through magazines and newspapers.
Right? They're not.
He-
it's called advertising, Aaron.
What are you, delusional? But obviously, on film, it plays a little better if there were if he visually thinks that there are people
Yeah.
around him.
Right.
But the real story is a lot less dramatic.
But there was some of that in the movie, wasn't there? Like clippings or something.
A little bit, but in the movie, it's like he has a roommate who's not real, and then like all this other
Yeah.
people just walking. Like even at the end, years later, he's getting the Nobel Prize, and there's people that aren't real in there.
Right.
And that's all that's Hollywood.
You know what I think was a better version of that movie is, and I don't know if this guy was a genius, but the Joker. I thought the Joker was an unbelievable. It blew me away with how good it was. I thought it was so good.
I think it's just Joker.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bates.
Geez, maybe you
It's
saw a
not
different
called the Joker.
movie.
Joker was unbelievable.
I thought so too. It's amazing after the other Joker version, which
Right.
I'm drawing a blank on.
Jared Leto,
No, the Oscar-winning.
Joaquin Phoenix,
No, the one who died. That's who I'm drawing
Heath
a blank on.
Ledger.
Heath
Heath Ledger,
Ledger's version.
yes.
That Joaquin Phoenix would do another version that's incredible.
It was, but the other version wasn't all about the Joker. It was a Batman, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Okay,
The-
so
the
this
Dark
one's all
Knight.
about the Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was great in The Dark Knight. But this one is just the story. I mean, the acting was brilliant,
Mhm.
unbelievable.
Mhm.
But the story was just, when I talk about like it's organic and a guy, like, first of all, it's set in the 80s. So
Yeah.
none of
Yeah.
what we're doing now applies, like
Right.
society, what people think. So that's the biggest part that they figured out. And then his background and how he became the Joker was
Yeah.
just unbelievable. What a great story.
Sam Morril was incredible.
You
in
knew
that.
a
Sam was
bunch of
great.
people in that movie, right?
Sam-
were there a ton of comics?
Well, now
in
it's time to name drop.
Yeah.
Sam, Gary Goldman was in it.
it? Yeah.
It was
Corey Rapon.
Greer Barnes.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, fantastic. Just a classic.
I don't-
And I think it's like, because you think the joke or Joker. I'm sorry, I keep saying the Joker.
Yeah.
But it's like a Marvel. I don't know if it's the Marvel. I'm not a comic book guy. So
DC. I
yeah,
believe.
DC world, you're like, oh, this is going to be fake and just all kinds of whatever. But it couldn't have been more.
Mm-mm.
It couldn't have been better done than it was.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. It's to the point where
it never felt
Robert
silly.
never felt silly.
Mhm.
Really, a guy could really like lose it and spiral that way.
Yeah.
And like De Niro's character, like making fun of him was fantastic. Maron was great in it. Mark Maron. And and they left all the graphic. Sometimes it's like, oh, why does this need to be this graphic? But they left that in, and I think that helped the story also.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I thought it was great.
This is a hilarious list we've compiled here.
Yeah. And we're going a little bit off
We're
track.
going to brush past Mozart and Bobby Fischer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joker.
I mean, because we're like, I'm not at that level, so I have to bring it back to my level.
Right.
Well, I do too. That's why I
you relate more to him than Mozart.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Some movies, Social Network. I mean, that's not really about. I mean, it is about a genius, but it's not. But I mean, I guess
what's his IQ? I wonder. Zuckerberg.
I looked it
Zuckerberg
up,
and
lower or higher than his net worth in billions? That's an interesting question.
I'll say lower.
Lower.
Yeah, lower.
What's he worth? 140 billion or something?
Well, I'll say higher.
Yeah.
I think his IQ is around 160.
Probably.
Net worth is coming in at a disappointing 101 billion.
Mm.
What a loser. That's lower than I thought.
Let me tell you guys this, because I don't want to be here all night. Let me tell you about AG1 by Athletic Greens.
Keep acting like we're holding you up.
We all gave AG1 a try.
Yep.
Mike, have you tried AG1?
Yes, it was fantastic last time I was here.
We want to increase energy and immune system without having to take cold showers. We have a busy lifestyle. There's other ways to do it than hurting yourself. So we take AG1 in the mornings before starting the day, and it makes us feel like we're doing something good to cover all our nutritional bases. Take the most nutritious stuff first thing in the morning, and then
eat the frog.
Yeah, eat the frog. It doesn't taste like
a frog.
No.
It tastes great.
It's easier to mix in 1 scoop of powder. It's great to take on the road with you. Since we travel so often, we get the single serve travel pack, so we never have to miss a day while we're on the road. You can get free monthly delivery to make it even easier. Every scoop has 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food source ingredients of the highest quality that have major benefits like gut and mood support, boosted energy, and even healthier looking skin, hair, and nails. Yeah. AG1 has been part of millions of mornings since 2010. If you want to take ownership of your health, try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/Nate. That's drinkag1.com/Nate. Check it out. Boom.
All right.
Couple more. Rain Man. I mean, we're just listing movies here. Should we get to the Queen's Gambit?
Yeah.
All right, Queen's Gambit.
Let's talk about chess for a minute.
I never played it.
Do you know how to play it?
No, I don't
know.
The
horsies are L's.
Searching for Bobby Fischer. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
I'm all in on
saw that
Bobby
one.
Fischer.
Yeah, I love the Bobby Fischer.
I don't like his chess. I like his views. No, this is a good example of a lot of times genius comes at an immense personal cost,
right.
Where the rest of your psyche is just out of whack. Like Bobby Fischer went insane. And it's the crushing weight of just being a genius at something, being that good at something. You make sacrifices.
Who was his teacher in that movie?
Lawrence Fishburne, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think
Lawrence Fishburne. But it's like, because I remember that one scene where he's like, he's playing and he's like, don't move until you see it. And then he's like, I can't see it. Don't move until you see it. It just keeps repeating. He's just like looking at the board. Don't move until you see it. I can't see it.
Yeah.
It was like an emotional movie. It really is a very good movie.
It's very organic.
Yes. You keep throwing that in my face. I love it.
No,
organic.
Yeah. I don't know. The movies he likes, there's a lot of organic in there. Yeah, I love that movie. All right. It's Queen's Gambit. That's based on a real person, I believe, right?
Is it?
I mean, there was a lot of liberties taken, but there is a young girl who's a chess prodigy, and I think she became a grandmaster at maybe 10 or something.
Oh. Who's that? What's her name? Queen?
I forgot. Miss Gambit.
Miss Gambit. No, she had but I like the part of the movie where she's like what you were saying, it comes at an immense personal cost because your mental health starts to spiral out of control.
Yeah.
Like she would lay in her bed and like see the chess pieces moving all over the place.
Yeah.
That's how they made it like.
But we do that with jokes.
Yeah.
I'm a
That's
genius,
not crazy.
Dude. I'm a genius. I'll do that with my act, dude. McDonald's, move that over here. And Goodwill. Those, blindfolded chess is illegal in a lot of places now.
Why is that?
Because of it hurts people because it's so mentally exhausting that it's actually dangerous
to your brain.
Wow.
Because all these people blindfold and they'll play multiple games of chess at once. They'll play like 20, 30 games blindfolded. And that's illegal in some countries now. It's pretty crazy.
And when you do that, you just tell the person, move this or that.
Pawn to E5. Then you visualize it in your head. And then you remember multiple boards. And you play all these games simultaneously.
And you said it's illegal, and I have a joke for that.
Yeah.
Because you get arrested and put in jail where you play checkers with somebody.
Yeah, play dominoes the rest of your life. You're like, oh no.
Playing a dumber man's game.
Is Andy Dufresne from Shawshank Redemption, would you consider him a genius?
No.
Just a smart guy.
Yeah, just a smart guy. A smart guy and a good guy. That's the point. He's his goodness.
I've cast all of us, not you, Mike, sorry, but I've cast the regular members of Nateland podcast for maybe we could cast you.
No, go ahead.
For Shawshank.
No, do the regulars. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, hold your thought, please. You would be Andy, Aaron.
Oh, about Shawshank?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
You'd be Andy. I mean, the smart guy in the group that I would be Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
The old guy who can't make it on the outside world.
Institutionalized.
Yeah. I think Dusty would be Red, Morgan Freeman's character.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't have a great one for him, but wise in his own way. He's got his own. He knows the streets, so to speak. And then Nate would either be Tommy, the guy who can't read very well, but Andy helps out.
I help Nate get his GED.
Yeah. He could also be the warden because he oversees everything. And when you throw out obtuse, he doesn't like big words. So
any response with violence?
Yeah.
That's great.
So, I've thought about this.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't share it on this podcast with Nate here because he hasn't seen the movie, but you guys have.
Biggest compliment to Aaron, though, is that he's Andy. Because Andy, his biggest quality is that first night when they all bet that who was going to cry. Like
someone always ends up crying.
Yeah, they heard nothing from his cell. He was like just quiet, and then he was like, it set the tone for him being poised.
His first night in the joint, and it cost me 3 packs of cigarettes. Yeah. That movie's unreal. I think Andy, just to get off brand here right at the end, I think that whole movie's a metaphor for Jesus.
Wow. I did not see that coming.
I don't even know. I don't think Stephen King intended it to be that way, but I think it's like a near perfect.
I bet Dusty will agree with you on this.
Allegory for an innocent man comes into a world of sinners and says, if you have hope, you can be with me in paradise later. And then leaves, and then Red meets him there. I think it's a pretty perfect metaphor. Anyway.
But are you thinking what I'm thinking?
What's that?
It should be Shawshank 2 where Rocky goes to that jail and he punches your hero, Andy Dufresne, in the face so many times and that he gets paroled to a hospital.
Well, you're onto something. They could do a sequel where Andy gets caught.
Yeah.
They extradite him back to America.
That's my way of saying Shawshank doesn't beat Rocky. Okay?
Okay. Well, it's fine.
Can I ask your favorite scene in Shawshank?
It's got to be the scene where they have the beers on the roof.
Oh, that's a feel-good scene.
Yeah, that's unbelievable scene.
It's a great scene. Mine is
and for one little moment.
Yeah.
Every last man in Shawshank felt free.
You're good.
Come on, dude.
Mine's favorite is when he gets out of the hole after he plays the Mozart. I think it was Mozart. The records. Mm-hmm. They throw him in the hole for a month.
Yeah.
And he comes out at lunch, and he tells them it was the easiest time he ever served.
Yeah.
And because of hope.
Yeah.
And he and Red have that.
Haven't you ever felt that way about music?
Yeah. It's a
I played a mean harmonica as a younger man. Didn't make much sense in here, though.
Yours sounds a little bit like.
Here's where it makes the most sense.
Yeah.
My favorite is when Brooks is working at the grocery store and he goes, "Boss, can I go to the bathroom?" And the guy goes, "You don't gotta ask me to go to the bathroom. You can just go."
40 years.
I think that's Red. That wasn't Brooks. I think that was Morgan Freeman.
That was Morgan Freeman's character. Yeah.
No, Brooks was working at the grocery store.
They both were.
Yes, they both worked the same job, bagging groceries.
But didn't Brooks ask to go to the bathroom, or was Red asked to go to the bathroom?
It was Red that asked to use the bathroom.
God.
Yeah,
My memory.
Have you even seen Shawshank?
No, it was the old man. The lady was getting mad at him because it wasn't bagging the groceries.
Right.
Yeah.
Double bag.
Yeah, double bag.
I love that whole scene.
I surely will. I apologize.
I'm looking to do a new podcast, and my idea for a podcast is that sometimes you'll see an older man working at like McDonald's or bagging groceries or something at like your Publix, trying to make it so that you guys feel comfortable.
Piggly Wiggly.
There you go.
So that a guy, I don't want to hear what celebrities really have to say because I get it, but it's like that guy. I want to hear, especially if he's not just working there as for fun, which I think that's a lie. Many of those guys are not working there for fun. So how are you here working in this job? You're 80 and you're working this job. That's a podcast. Like me asking them why, or anybody asking them what transpired in your. There's got to be some kind of a gambling problem, triple divorce. Like there's got to be a bunch of good stuff in there to get you to that point.
I think it's gonna be on you to bring some levity to that, because that does sounds pretty dark.
No, that's fantastic.
It's part of my probation.
I mean, it's just life. You know what I mean? Like we all go through it. We all make different choices, whatever. And it's like, I took my shot and now I bag groceries at a Publix. So what? It's like I could have just had a blast.
Right.
And now it's like, I'm here and I'll figure it out.
It's a Gambit.
Yeah.
The Queen's Gambit.
There you go.
All right. There's any other shows we want to talk about? About geniuses? That's the one I think of.
Suits is making a bit of a comeback. The movie.
Oh, you were just talking about Suits.
I was just talking about Suits
on the podcast.
Downstairs.
It's being pushed on me by
you had talked about it just now.
Talking to
wow, I zoned out.
I was talking to Laura about it, about how I'm watching Suits now because it's been. Netflix does this thing where they bully you until you just do what they want you to do.
Right.
And they did that, and now I'm watching Suits, and now I can't stop watching Suits.
I never watched The Big Bang Theory. I know it's about geniuses, but I never watched it.
I've watched scenes. I get why people like it. It's very funny.
Yeah.
I get it. I can't sit through I'm not into the sitcom thing, but no, like it's good. But I thought The Office, like that. I think The Office, that was the last wave of sitcoms where I was like, this is gut laugh funny. Yeah.
Right.
30 Rock, and then The Office was like, I think the
Parks
last
and Rec?
Parks and Rec I never really got into, but it was kind of written in that same tone where it's like sharp, great jokes,
Yeah. There was a movie with Cooper. God, what am I drawing? Bradley Cooper. Limitless. And I think they made it also a TV show for a while.
Movie, yeah.
Limitless. That's when he took a pill, right?
Yeah.
The pill. The movie. I mean, Bradley Cooper is great, and the idea of the movie, it got a little muddled as the movie went on.
Yeah.
It got muddled, the story, but I love the idea of being able to take a pill.
You like the beginning of a lot of movies, but not the end of it. I think you're just falling asleep during these movies.
No, I don't like
where it's organic. They stick something in.
Yeah. Beautiful Mind was great until I fell asleep. And I woke up and I was like, "You're winning a Nobel Prize. What is this all about?" But Limitless he's not a genius. It's all about just him unlocking the 100% of his brain.
Right.
With a pill, right?
With
a pill. He was a smart guy, and they make a point of mentioning that in the movie. The drug dealer says it works better when you're already smart.
Right.
But he's not a genius.
Yeah.
So,
but it opens his mind up and it changes his life.
Yeah.
He actually becomes the man, even with his girlfriend breaks up with him because he's not living up to his potential. And then she sees him, they get together for dinner, and he's like speaking Italian to the maitre d' and the waitress. And so she's like blown away with how he's maximized himself.
Yeah. Great.
Do you watch Seinfeld?
Love Seinfeld.
The George Costanza, when he became super smart. Do you remember that?
Yeah. That was a great episode.
Yeah, his it's a funny point they're trying to make. His girlfriend has like mono or something, so he knows they're not going to be able to have sex for like a few weeks or whatever. And now that he's not focused on sex, but the point is that that's all men focus on. He becomes a genius because his mind.
Yeah.
Where Elaine, It was the opposite for her.
yeah,
I forgot
yeah.
what happened, but
Right.
she
Like-
gets really dumb.
Right.
That's
It was genius.
such a genius premise
It was
for
a
the
genius
episode.
premise. Yeah, absolutely.
Have you seen Phenomenon?
No.
With
No.
man, I think I'm having something going on right now with my brain.
You've been playing blindfolded chess?
I don't know what is going on. John Travolta, but in that,
Okay.
he sees like a light in the sky, maybe
Right.
an alien or whatever,
Mhm.
and it comes down and beams him, and then he passes out, and then he becomes unbelievably smart. So everyone thinks the aliens like came and did something to him to make him a super genius.
Right.
Oh,
Turns
that's
out he
fun.
was having like an aneurysm, and that was what he was seeing. But it opened his brain to use all the parts of the brain you don't normally use.
I gotta watch Phenomenon. I love stories like that. I really love Limitless. I love the stories like
somebody
Were they-
suddenly becoming.
yeah.
That's fun.
I like somebody doing that.
That's a good time.
All right.
All right. We did it, Mike. Thank you for
Thank
stopping
you guys
by.
for having me.
Where-
I
where-
appreciate you guys.
podcast.
I had a really good
We-
time.
we
Where,
did it.
where are you
guys
going to
are
be
the
at
best.
this weekend? This comes out next week.
This comes out next week.
We can look up.
Comedy Mothership in Austin.
Oh,
Oh,
amazing.
wow.
Comedy Mothership in Austin. So if you're in Austin, come see me.
Do you know what night that is?
Do I know what?
What night? Or
It's
Or all weekend?
No, it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Comedy Mothership.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, MikeVecchione.com for dates. Are we doing plugs now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
MikeVecchione.com for dates. I have a bunch of dates on the road and all over the place. So please come and see me on the road at Comic Mike V. I don't have a podcast anymore, so please follow me at Comic Mike V on all social media platforms.
do you know which room you're in?
MikeVecchione.com.
The
I'm
Fat
in the-
Man, dude.
The Fat Man. I'm in
You
the
already
Lake
sold
Room.
out the Friday show.
It's great.
Get these tickets while you can, ladies and gentlemen. Friday and Saturday, September 29th and 30th. That's awesome. Have
Yeah.
you been to that club yet?
Yeah, when I did Rogan, I did
Uh-huh.
it, and it's fantastic. It's a fantastic room. I can't
Awesome,
wait.
man.
I can't wait to do it.
Awesome.
So I'm psyched. At Comic Mike V. I'm sorry I keep driving it home, but I need followers and I need to sell tickets on the road.
I
And
hear you.
we're all. I know you guys do the podcast all the time, and you're part of it. But we're all great comics, so please come and watch us on the road.
Mhm.
So at Comic Mike V. Thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
This Saturday.
That was really sweet.
Yeah, it was. Was that sincere or was that sarcastic?
No, that's sincere. I even after my set, like I'm sarcastic in my set, really heavy and condescending to the crowd.
Right.
And then at the end, because I'm really very appreciative of them being there
Right,
and,
yeah,
and
right.
grateful.
It's not lost on
So
you.
yeah. So I
That's Nate's line.
Yeah,
He always
yeah.
says that, yeah.
I tell them that I thank them, genuinely thank them.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
This Saturday, I'm in Wilmington, Ohio at the Murphy Theater. Sunday, I'm in Philadelphia. First time at Helium Comedy Club.
Whoa.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Big time, man.
So-
You're going to watch Rocky?
I've never been to the Steps. I've never
Wow.
been to Philly.
Yeah,
Rank all the
enjoy
Rocky
Philly.
movies. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
I-
4:30 show. So watch the Eagles play, then run over to my show
What time's the Eagles game at?
at 1. So
Oh, it'll be over.
it'll
by
be over
then.
at 4 probably.
right at 4.
Yeah.
And then right to
A
dates.
mad dash over.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
club.
yeah, yeah.
That's awesome, man. Tomorrow night, Thursday, September 28th, I'm in Ketchikan, Alaska,
Mm.
at the Creek Street Cabaret.
Nice.
Never been up there before. Pretty excited about it. Then this weekend, I'm in Seattle at Hereafter Crocodile. Come on out next week, wise guys. Just come on out. We got great shows.
Yeah.
You know.
Take it home, Aaron.
All right. That's it. Thank you. We love you. None of this is lost on us. We love you so much. And yeah. Bye.
Nateland is produced by Nateland Productions and by me, Nate Bargatze, and my wife Laura on the Audio Boom platform. Recording and editing for the show is done by Genovations Media. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to catch us next week on the Nateland Podcast.